Oh, hey, bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Happy Friday. It's your boy, Chris Avalon. Oh, let me adjust this damn camera. I did it before I got on live. But anyway, welcome to Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we basically get into all the latest in celebrity news, gossip, entertainment, anything that's going on in the world of pop culture. We discuss it on this here show. So, before we get started with said topics, that I'm going to let you guys know what the rundown is in a good old second, please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And Chad, we got a whole lot of Justin Timberlake stuff to get to. This is why I basically just call it all the latest Justin Timberlake news, because I'm like, it's 5 topics based on him because he's going through it. So we're gonna break all that down. Plus, because he had apparently they said he had to take he had to slash down the price on his home in Tennessee. So we're gonna talk about that. So I don't know, he might be hurting for some coins. Speaking of people hurting for some coins, there's word going on the street that Justin Bieber might be running out of cash as well because he's been ODing with the way his spending habits, particularly on his pregnant wife, Hailey Bieber. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Hannaford is going through it. She's apparently on vacation in Italy while the husband, the estranged husband, Ben Affleck, is out here doing, the accountant too. She left the kids back in LA and she's out here living her best life, showing that man that she could do bad by herself. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, we're going to go into give you the latest on this lawsuit against Madonna being tardy to her own damn concert. We got we got an update. There's a resolution. We're going to let you know who won in the case. So if you haven't heard, definitely tune in. I'm going to give my thoughts. Plus, Cameron is going in and saying that Jay-Z is no longer in love with hip-hop, that he loves money more than he loves the culture. I have that clip, and we're going to break that down. Plus, Remy Ma is standing by her son, who was accused of red rum on Juneteenth, no less. Speaking of Juneteenth and coons, coonery and buffoonery, I should say. Swizz Beatz and Timberlake have the nerve to get in bed with Elon Musk with this verses nobody asked for because we done moved on after the pandemic. And apparently, people are mad that they went and made this announcement on Juneteenth, especially knowing all the stuff surrounding Elon and the fact that they say he a racist, someone who came up in the era of apartheid, being South African and all, and how he's basically, Trump with his own channel, streaming service. Well, you know what Twitter is. I don't even call it that other name. That's just like a porn name. But anyway, so we got that. Plus, we're going to talk about Katy Perry. She is really going all out for this promo for her upcoming album, putting titties out and displaying everything. But the question remains, are people here for this era? Are people really looking forward to, or is everybody excited for this Katy Perry comeback? So we're going to talk about that and break that on down and all that good stuff. Plus, Jacob Elordi is the latest actor, well, I should say star, whose likeness has been exploited in an explicit deepfake video. So someone went and took, well, if people don't understand what deepfake is, it's basically when you take the head of someone and put it on the body of somebody else. So somebody put his face on a porn star's body. So people was thinking that Jacob Elordi had a sex tape or something out here. So we're going to break that down. Plus, we got 2 drag race stories. Alaska is airing her grievances about All Stars 9, and Envy Peru is revealing why she turned down Canada versus the world. So we have all that and a whole lot more in case anything pops up in celebrity news. It's a little slow today, but these were the tea. This was the tea that I was able to find and scrape up. So this is what we're going to talk about. But if there's anything y'all want to ask or drop in the chat and all that other good stuff, definitely do so. Let me hit my banner. I see we have a comment. Oh, look, Robert said, good morning. Good morning, team. Happy Friday. I would say happy Juneteenth, too. I forgot to mention that the other day when we was on the line because, sometimes I'll be so caught up in trying to make sure this show goes smoothly with all the bells and whistles, the buttons, everything that I'm dealing with over here on this end. I'm doing technical stuff and I'm running my mouth and trying to have all my notes and everything, all my ducks in a row. Because sometimes I'll be forgetting the simplest of things. It could be my birthday, I'll forget. It'd be Thanksgiving, I forget to mention it. It'd be Juneteenth, I forget to mention it. So happy belated Juneteenth for those of y'all that was out there celebrating. And child, I need that Red Bull because it is hotter than 3 shades of hell outside. And okay, so now let's get right into things without further ado. And we're gonna talk about Mr. Timberlake, honey. So I'm sure you already know what's going on with him and the whole thing of getting arrested in Sag Harbor and all that good stuff because he was out here acting a damn fool. Hold on, I gotta put up the picture because I wouldn't be here if I didn't. So, um, okay. So basically, the latest is that what we didn't talk about the other day is like, after his arrest and everything, of course, mainstream media had to jump on and talk about it. But of course, the ones that get up here and talking about these A-list celebrity types, the ones that like to sit and shove their heads so far up these celebrity asses because they want to be accepted. These old pick-me Negroes like Gayle King, who, want to, the only way they feel that they could be accepted by the white elite is by, bowing down and licking the crack of their ass and the bottom of their shoe and all this other shit. And that's what she gives me. So she had the nerve to get her wobbly ass up on that damn CBS and had the nerve to defend this heifer over his actions. I will play out the clip, but the other day I posted I did a Remy Ma clip where y'all saw in the last episode where they were talking about, what had happened with her son and all that other stuff. And the video got flagged and it was like, oh, you can't monetize it because I showed the video of her single whatever in the thing. So I had to go in and edit everything out in order to be able to monetize the episode. So I don't want to go and start playing stuff because I don't know how CBS and things are with their algorithms. Like if Universal gives me hell every time I post something with them, I'm not taking no risk with damn CBS. So I'm gonna just read it to y'all. And here's what this old 69-year-old heifer had the nerve to say. She said Justin Timberlake is a very, very great guy. Listen, this is clearly a mistake. I bet nobody knows it more than he. Now, there was other people on the panel. And this was the other thing that irritated me too. Nobody pushed back on what she said. I don't care how big on the pedestal Gayle King is because, her attachment to Oprah. Because ain't nobody know who the hell Gayle was if she wasn't Oprah's BFF and her sister, allegedly. So I don't give a fuck who it is. If I'm on a panel, we're gonna sit up in here, we're gonna break shit down. And I'm not sitting up in here trying to kiss your behind and give and go along with what you saying when we all know that getting behind the wheel of a car, especially if you're an adult, well into your 40s. This is not somebody who did this the first time he did some sort of offense and he's like 19 or 20 or 21. Now I would let you slide with that because it's like you young. We've all done shit when we was that age. We've all been there and did stuff like that. When I was in my 20s, I was fucking up and I was doing dumb things because I wasn't thinking. But when you are a man of a certain age, when you're in your 40s, you got a wife and you have 2 children, it's not even about you anymore. Like you have a whole wife, you're married, which the word on the curb is that Jessica Biel was pissed off and embarrassed. And then the next day she had to actually go outside and do an outdoor scene with her show. So she's sitting outside performing, acting, and knowing full on well, you got these long lens paparazzo people hanging around snapping every little photo of her that they could get. And they're going to run whatever narrative. So you're not even thinking about your wife. You're not even thinking about your kids. You're thinking about whatever selfish situation you in. Hence why he probably wrote that damn song Selfish, because he was talking about himself. So that's the things you got to think about. It's no longer a mistake when there's stakes, when the stakes are high, especially when you are the boss of your concert that's struggling. We're going to get into that because I got the latest on the concert and how they slashed the price down to, Henna for Lopez, This Is Me live prices. Because remember, hers was like, I think $10 or $9. They had a little $2 extra on his. We're going to break that down. But I'm just setting up the scenario. So she basically went. So they said when Nate Burleson, I don't know who the fuck that is. But I guess that's one of the Negroes that was sitting up there with her, because it was 3 of them and a white dude. Well, 2 black dudes and a white dude and her. So they said when Nate Burleson pointed out that this was a very stupid mistake, King agreed, added that Timberlake knows it. No, he doesn't, because if he did, then he wouldn't have did what he did. Clearly, he has alcohol problems. He's admitted in the past that he's had issues with drugs and alcohol. So what is she talking about? This is how it's like, I know. This is why I always say people like us that exist in this space, we'll give y'all the tea. These people that be up in here in these networks and all this other stuff, y'all be so fixated by algorithms. Well, not even algorithms. Y'all worry so much about ad revenue. Y'all worry so much about these celebrities showing up so y'all can interview them instead of really going in and saying what grown people need to be saying to other grown ass people instead of being enablers. And that's what Hollywood is full of. It's full of enablers. So it wasn't just me that was going in because people went in on her ass, and we're going to get into that in a second, and rightfully so. So they said he's not an irresponsible person. He's not reckless. He's not careless. Clearly, this is not a good thing, but he knows that. Well, I'm going to keep reiterating. If he knew that, he wouldn't have gotten his ass behind the wheel to drink. And I mean, after he drunk to go wherever the hell he was going, he said he was going home, which makes me also think this cannot be a one-time offense. Just because this is the first time it's public doesn't necessarily mean this is the first time he's done this. Because for some godforsaken, in my gut of all guts, and I always trust my instinct. That's why I've been able to survive as long as I have, because I trust my gut. I truly feel in my heart of hearts, this is not the first time he's jumped behind the wheel while drunk. He just got lucky. And probably being in LA, you can get away with shit like that out there because they love celebrity. They love entertainment. They let y'all slide out there. But he was in Sag Harbor. He was in Long Island. I told y'all, Long Island police do not play. They don't give a damn who it is. And the big strike to his ego, and this is how you know the universe works the way it works. They said the Lord done sent him a cop that didn't even know the fuck he was. That's how you know the universe works the way it works. Now, it would be different if we could see how someone who, was a Justin Timberlake fan would react. But the universe knew to send somebody who didn't know the hell he was to go deal with this situation, which I love that because it really humbles these celebrities. A lot of y'all need a little humility in your life. Especially when you're someone who we've always watched over the years from the Janet situation to Britney and beyond. This is someone who has been able to coast and skate through life without dealing with any kind of consequence for his actions because he's a male, because he's attractive, because he's white. He's been able to scapegoat through those things. And since we live in such a racist, misogynistic world, of course he's going to rely on his privilege to get him out of shit. But he got that rude awakening on Monday. So then she went on to say that she referenced Billy Joel's reaction to the incident, noting she appreciated the way he responded. Said, I love when they stopped Billy Joel and he said, wait, not everybody judge at this particular time. Yeah, okay. Sorry, but I'm judging. Especially when this boy has been running around judging Britney and judging Janet and judging all these other people. It's funny how y'all always want to run around and give this little boy, this little boy, see, that's the problem. And I'm referring to him as a little boy, this grown ass man, some grace. Justin and I around the same damn age. He ain't got no excuse. It said still King maintain that even though it ain't no fucking alleged. It came from the police report. What are y'all talking about? We seen the police report. It's not alleged. I need to see the damn body cam footage. That's all I'm waiting on. They said the report about what the officers saw, it's not good. She added with all resources available, no one should ever drive up. No shit, Sherlock. We've been saying this from the beginning. Regardless of all the resources, this is somebody who's got a lot of money, who's worth a lot of money, who's been successful and in the entertainment industry since he was like, what, 12 years old, maybe younger? He should know better. You have access to an Uber, a Lyft, a personal driver. You don't even need to use Uber and Lyft. There's celebrities out here who use personal drivers that take them from point A to point B. So if you said driving drunk, there is never any excuse for that ever. Well, yeah, I'm glad you said that, even though after you sat there and blew smoke up his ass and try to make every damn excuse. But then you go and say driving drunk, there's no excuse. But you know what they make 1,000 damn excuses. Make it make sense, Gayle. But of course, the people went in on Miss Gayle, and here's what they said. Now, Mr. Jerome Trammell, who I always see on social media posting something, he said Janet Jackson didn't harm nobody, but he could have. Let's not come to this YT man's defense. Oh, she stayed doing that. And I'm gonna give you an example of another one. First of all, this bitch done defended a racist. Now, when I found out she did that, and I'm gonna tell you which one, I was truly done with her. I'm actually done with her. Then another person goes by the name of MX Sharmar wrote, I'm not defending him, but in theory, I understand what Gayle's saying. It's not as if he's perpetually involved in situations like this that I know of. See, that's the problem. You don't know that he's perpetually involved in situations. But if y'all been watching this show long enough, I keep giving y'all examples of things that Justin has done. But it's funny because I feel like y'all got selective amnesia, or the fact that we all, society has built this whole situation where we've got the mindset of a gnat. We can't remember nothing. We remember something and then we on to the next thing and then y'all forgot. And then thank goodness we have all these other, myself and other bloggers and people like Page Six and Radar Online that will give you the rundown of all the things Justin has slithered his way out of. He would have these little minor situations that he get caught up in, and then we move on. But everybody sticks to the Brittany and Janet thing, but there's been so many other things that we bring up too. So the person went on to finish and say, although I have opinions of some of his decisions in the past, I wouldn't hold that against him in this separate situation. I hate to see folks kick anyone when they're down. Well, he kicked Brittany when she was down. When she was going through her situation with the the mental health stuff, he was kicking her when she was there, telling her stop drinking. He would make little snide comments. So no, he's not getting the same grace. So when you go out and you do that to her, and you've done this to other people, and you come out your mouth and you've said disrespectful shit to Prince, to so many other people, no, he doesn't get grace. I'm sorry. Because I truly believe with the energy you put out, you're going to get back. And so now he's getting back the energy he would put out throughout his career. But of course, because it's Justin, because and I got to keep reiterating it, because he's white, because he's male, because he's attractive, y'all want to give him the benefit of the doubt. But child, if he was out here looking like George Santos, guaranteed y'all don't want to throw the book at his ass. Sidebar. Child, I just heard George Santos is launching an OnlyFans. I was like, ugh. Child, ugh. Ain't nobody asked for that. Anybody trying to look at that botched body? But anyway, let's continue with Justin. Because I went on a whole little side thing with him. But then there was other people that came out and said, they said, if it were Usher, do you think Gayle would be on national TV saying it was a mistake? Doubtful. Yeah, people was going in on her because they said like she's a white apologist, but she wouldn't get that same energy to black folk, especially since I forgot about this. She went in on Kobe Bryant. And not only that, she defended Morgan Wallen to about, oh, she liked his music. And so that excused the behavior. But then again, I'm not surprised that Gayle will come out and say this, especially since her BFF with the leaky booty and everything else. Because remember, not too long ago, Oprah, things was leaking out of her body parts, and she had the little stomach situation, which is what I think. Gayle, you need to stick to what Oprah's going through physically and with her inside, because you're taking that Ozempic or whatever the hell she's taking, and stay out of grown people business if you're not really going to give the tea. Remember, Oprah done offended Harvey Weinstein, and we all know about Harvey Weinstein and what he was out here doing. So other people went on and said, many nice guys who have a nice buzz choose not to drive. He did not. Having two relatives killed by a drunk driver, there is no excuse. Another person by the name of Persia Brewer wrote, at Gayle King, really to this day, he still hasn't fully apologized to Janet or Brittany, but yeah, great person. Have you seen the picture? He looked drunk. Oh, it wasn't just that. Them eyes was bloodshot, which goes to show you that Justin definitely knows how to throw it back. So when your eyes is to the point that it look like they burning and you need some Visine or some shit up in them, you should be jumping behind no wheel. And her being damn near 70 years old, she should know better. But like I said, you get these people in this business that they want these interviews and they want to be rubbing elbows with these celebrities, that they're not going to tell y'all the truth. They're not going to really call them out the way they need to call them out. It's either they'll enable or they won't do the story at all. Another person put, not on this good Juneteenth. Another person wrote, somebody get Snoop on the phone, because Snoop went in on her one time. And Oprah. And they said, this is probably the best mugshot I've seen from a drunk person. That is kind of true, though. One thing I will say is that looking at this mugshot, Justin definitely looked good in this picture. So I'm not going to hold him on that. But let's go to this one. Let's change up the photo of seeing him do the walk of shame. Anyway, another person put this actually probably the best. Oh yeah, I said that one right. Another person put hashtag justice for Janet. Another person put let's stop acting as if y'all don't do it from brunch or the club. Leave that man alone. Okay, shut the fuck up. First of all, don't sit up in here and try to be like, don't act like y'all don't be. First of all, focus on yourself. Don't be up in here trying to deflect by saying, oh, don't act like y'all don't do that. First of all, I don't drive and drink. I don't because my parents taught me better. My parents taught me right. I know if I'm going to go out and get lit with my friends, we make plans. Or if I'm going out with a friend, and I've done this in the past, a friend of mine, he'll sit and he'll drink a couple of beers, then he'll actually sober up. So that way, when it's time for us to leave the club, he's good. The rest of us be fucked up in the car. But him, he's responsible in that way. And I'm here to live to tell you the tale. So the people I hang with are responsible human beings. I don't hang out with enablers. I don't hang out with people that do irresponsible bullshit like this. So there is no excuse. And I'm tired of people making excuses when it comes to stuff like this. So y'all already know all the stuff where he was arrested and they said that he's gonna, I believe that he has to face these charges on July 26th. He's probably going to end up getting like a misdemeanor, do some community service, pay a fine, which is typically what you would, I guess, do if you were out drinking. He didn't hit nobody with the car, so he don't need to do, jail time. But you know what? I'm gonna just read y'all what I wrote because I did write a citation, and then we're gonna wrap this part up and move on to the other Justin Timberlake story. So I said this is exactly why people like Justin will never learn their lesson when you have enablers like Gayle King defending his actions. The worst part of it all was that none of her fellow panelists during the topic did even bother pushing back on what she said. You may have interviewed this man and you may have even rubbed elbows with him out at LA celebrity gatherings. However, you don't know this man, and last I checked, driving while intoxicated is responsible, reckless, and careless. All of the things that you had the absolute gall to say on live television that he's not. She may want to turn a blind eye and only count this DWI as his mistake, but we the people have been keeping track of the fact that JT has never fully taken responsibility for his actions, such as Nipplegate, the allegations mentioned in Britney's memoir, the subs he's thrown at Britney via award shows, his stage shows, and in his music. And let's not forget the multiple times he's been caught stepping out on the woman he's been in relationships with, or I should say women he's been in relationships with. I saw some people in the comments on a few IG blogs like the Neighborhood Talk and the Hollywood Unlocked ask, would she go as hard to defend someone like JT if he were black? Now, I don't know her heart, but I will say she probably would defend someone black if someone like Jay-Z were caught up in a similar situation. Then again, this is the same lady that talked shit about Kobe Bryant and defended Morgan Wallen when it was revealed he's a racist, drunken mess. At the end of the day, Justin is a grown-ass, 43-year-old man. He should know better to get pissy drunk and then get behind the wheel. He could have hurt himself and possibly others with his lack of judgment. Now, shame on you, Gayle, for enabling his behavior on live TV, no less, and basically shucking and jiving for him like you're his lawyer, and it just makes you look pathetic. Now, how about you stick to what you know, which would be like why your sister Oprah and her stomach issues last week, she had her stomach issues last week to the point that she had things coming out of the front end and the back end. So that's what you need to be sticking to. Now, in regards of more Justin Timberlake news, they said that he feels ashamed of the reasons he's been making the headlines. Allegedly. We'll say alleged, because we don't know if this is necessarily what he's saying. This is what his people is putting out there. So if they put it out there, they want us to believe it. But they were trying to sit up in here and, his team is working in overtime, trying to clear all this up and make him not look as bad as it is. So, according to Entertainment Tonight, it said he's moving forward after he was arrested and charged with a DWI earlier this week. The 43-year-old Can't Stop the Feeling singer is feeling remorseful, ashamed, and humiliated. However, JT is also feeling accountable, according to the source. Timberlake does not believe he needs help when it comes to alcohol, instead viewing the incident as a major lapse of judgment. Well, it's funny how he says that he doesn't think he needs help, isn't that the first thing of like AA? Is that admitting you got a problem? So maybe he's at a point where he's like, you know what, I'm someone who's like what do you call it? Like a binge drinker. Like there's someone who can stop drinking for a long period of time, and then when they go out, they throw it back, throw it back, throw it back. And then after that, they good for like the next couple of months or how long. And then they go and they just, it's like binge drinking. So maybe that's what he is. Maybe he's a binge drinker. And he don't see he got a problem. But if you said in interviews back in the day that you've had issues with alcohol and drugs and you were feeling down and depressed and stuff and you were self-medicating, then clearly you do have a problem. So they said this situation has taken a toll on him, but he's trying to view it as a way that he can reset himself. He does his best to set a positive example for himself, Jessica Biel, his family, and the public, and will continue to try to learn and grow. He is taking this seriously and recognizes how it can impact his family dynamic as a husband and father and his fans too. Yeah, okay. I'm not buying none of that. They said, meanwhile, Timberlake and Biel are remaining a unit following the incident. But then I'm hearing stories that she was embarrassed and she was upset and they haven't seen each other since the situation went down. That she's been off in New York filming her stuff. He's busy, you know. He was in, I guess, he was in New York because Sag Harbor is a part of New York, but that's not the city. That's Long Island. So that's like from Manhattan to Sag Harbor, I would say that's like a good 2 hours, 2 hour drive back into the city and that sort of thing. So I don't know if they've seen each other as of we're talking about this now, but then again, I just realized Justin is in Chicago right now because he's doing his show tonight. So I don't know if they've seen each other within the past couple of days. But yeah, Justin is in Chicago right now about to do 2 nights of this Forget Tomorrow tour. Which child, the struggle is real. And we got the tea on the ticket stuff. So I told her it's a lot of Justin Timberlake stuff. So I'm breaking each down one at a time. So they said that Justin and Jess are very grateful that no one was hurt and that everyone is okay and safe. Jess is definitely feeling disappointed, but she is by Justin's side. She acknowledges that Justin and all of us are okay. Now, what is this? Like we in an episode of Seventh Heaven? That she acknowledges that we're all human beings, we all make mistakes. I'm sure she knows way more of what's going on behind the scenes than we all know because that's her husband. So I'm sure she's aware of like he be drinking or whatever the case is, and she probably enables him. But here's the thing: Jessica Biel is a groupie. When she met Justin, she was a fan. She was in love. She loved Justin Timberlake music. She was all about Justin Timberlake and all that other stuff. And then they got married. And then he was out here laying low and spreading it wide allegedly with Olivia Wilde and Alicia, whatever the hell that girl named from Raising Dion. We know the stories, and he said he had a lapse in judgment. Yeah, okay. You mean your dick had a lapse in judgment? Anyway, so I don't care what the rest of the stuff that she had to say in regards to that, when she was talking about his Father's Day and all that other stuff. And to me, it's just like, okay, so we have all that stuff. He's saying he feels ashamed, he's remorseful, whatever, whatever. I'm not buying it. But what I am buying, Cher, is this latest story that came from the Daily Mail where they talk about his Forget Tomorrow tour has seen a significant decrease in ticket sale prices since his recent drunk driving arrest in New York. Now, the singer has vowed that he will continue with his tour despite his legal troubles. Like I said, tonight he is in Chicago doing 2 shows, and then next week he's supposed to be coming to New York again, back to New York to do 2 nights in Madison Square Garden. So they said, well, here's 2 shows in Chicago set to go ahead. Now, it's been revealed that tickets for one of Justin's shows in Pennsylvania on the 4th of July are available for as little as $11, which would be $8 and well, 8.67 pounds. I don't know how they say it over in the UK, but I'll just put 8.67 pounds because we can't say like, oh, 8 pounds and 67 cents, I guess. But they said on the resale site SeatGeek. I like SeatGeek, by the way, because that's where I be getting my tickets sometime when them shits be through the roof. The tickets, which are for sale at the top right section of the Hershey Park Stadium, are among others for the same section, which is priced at up to $19, which would be 15 pounds each. Other tickets for Justin's show is also available from primary retailing Ticketmaster, though they are priced higher at $55. Well, you know, Ticketmaster stay trying to do with their ridiculous over damn prices. But $44, that's not bad. Now, Justin's next show is scheduled, as we talked about, is at Chicago's United Center today. And he will play 2 nights at the venue before heading to MSG, which is Madison Square Garden, which is what we call that for short, in New York next week. It was reported on Wednesday that Justin apologized to his tour crew in a lengthy conference call after his arrest sparked concern that his upcoming show will be called off. After he was released in the early hours of Tuesday morning, the 43-year-old singer reportedly contacted his team to reassure them that the world tour would not be affected. This comes after he was arrested in the Hamptons because he was intoxicated and ran the red light, or the stop sign, I'm sorry. In exclusive images obtained by DailyMail.com, he was seen in handcuffs and being led out by police officers at his arrest, which is the picture that we showed here. We'll go back to that. A source told the U.S. Senate he had a long conference call in the hours following his arrest because members of his crew were worried about the future of the world tour and said the incident wasn't the best thing to happen. After he was released on bail, Justin reportedly acted like a very solid leader and impressed his team by owning the situation. He made sure that the arrest didn't create tension in the crew, the insider revealed to the outlet. He acted like a boss, like someone who owned his shit. Now, I did see some of the pictures or whatever, and it says, like, in section 32, row E, the price of the ticket is $11. Then there was another one that says amazing deal, $15 each. Then there's another one that says good deal, $47 each. So, and the highest that they have is like $51. So, when everybody said, "Oh, the show is sold out. It's no big deal." Blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, because tickets are like $11, $47. When you have tickets that price, at that price, of course you're going to sell out. People going to want to get them tickets at that price. Nobody's trying to spend $5,000 on a ticket. Nobody's trying to spend $400 on a ticket. And then y'all want to make fun of people because they're in the nosebleed. I'm like, look, at least I get to be in the room and see the show. And when you come to places like Madison Square Garden, the way they have everything set up is like, there's no bad seat in the house. And even though you are a bit high up, you do get a good view of the stage. I do wish sometimes, based off of people's set designs and stuff, that they really need to be mindful of the audience and how they see you and how they get the show. Because one of the people that I thought, oh my God, I was the reggaeton artist that I just did his show, Fade. The way his show, this set design and everything was, it was cool because he was running throughout the stage. Like he was running across, it was like this one big, I don't know how to even describe it. The stage literally took up the entire floor of the arena. And he also had like this area where you can run up and down and throughout the thing. So it looked like this little, it looked like a little playground almost with like these screens and laser lights and stuff. So it looked really cool. But I don't think he thought it through, like how the audience had a hard time seeing him at times, because I was even looking like, where the hell is he? So I think a lot of times people need to be mindful and conscious of how their set designs are, or their not set design, stage designs are, because yeah, that can throw people off a little bit and it makes it harder for some people to see. But overall, there's really no bad seat in the house when it comes to a lot of people. But here's the thing, say what you want about Justin, but I will say $11, $49, $51, that's not bad. And here's what I don't understand. So if they slashing these prices to be this low, right? Then why does Ticketmaster and all of them continue to do this little scheming, scamming shit where y'all be overcharging people with the money y'all be charging? But then at the end of the day, y'all bring the price down so low because y'all need to fill up them seats, which goes to show you this inflation, like y'all inflate everything else, be it the food, and everything else that be going on, because we had a situation recently where now we got fast food spots that have been slashing their prices and bringing the prices down the food because they realize that people not coming in to buy stuff. I'm like, yeah, when you overcharge people things, they're gonna go somewhere else that's cheaper. Everybody's wallets is being squeezed. And then I saw on the news yesterday, they're talking about that a lot of people are cutting down on their fun time in the summer because things are too expensive. So between concerts, movies, and all this other stuff, people are not going out spending money because y'all are overcharging them. And y'all think that raising prices gets butts in seats. It does not. It keeps people away because people now have to sit and make decisions on, like, well, damn, I want to go to all these concerts. I want to go see all these movies and all these things. I want to go support these musicians, but I can't because y'all are ridiculously squeezing my goddamn wallet to the point of non-existence. And a lot of you companies need to understand it, but it's like y'all don't understand shit until y'all end up losing a lot of money because y'all too damn greedy. But then it also said, according to the same source, he was in great spirits and told everyone with a big smile that he was sorry. He then admitted to his crew that he shouldn't have done that. We are 110% motivated to put everything behind us and put on some fantastic shows. Now, here's the thing. If he has come to his, come to Jesus moment, then good for him. I'm glad that in behind the scenes with his crew and everything that he's come to that. But if it ever comes down to it that he's in an interview or whatever case, I don't even understand why he didn't release a statement so that way he could put all this to bed, because now everybody's going to come out with their own narrative. It's like, oh yeah, he's telling it to the crew, he's telling it to these people, and this is coming from his people that's telling us this. But it's like, it's great if this is accurate and true, but do people believe it because it didn't come from him himself? This is just coming from sources. But then they also said, which I didn't know this, they said, with this whole situation that happened, he could potentially face being jailed for a year, having to pay a hefty fine, or losing his license for 6 months. Now, I actually do not think that Justin will do jail time. I don't think they'll put his ass in prison. Trust and believe they ain't gonna put his ass in jail. And child, if you drop the soap, girl, it is over, because them dudes get a hold of them cheeks. It's a rap, Miss Mama. You definitely gonna be taking that Truvada and them poppers. When that lie came out about that. So I don't see him doing jail time, but I'd actually think like just make him pay a hefty fine, make him do community service, and I'd say suspend his license for 6 months. That's a good lesson that would be learned, in my opinion. Okay, so now the other Justin stuff, because child, I told you it's a lot. They talking about this whole situation that happened. Now, this is what I do believe, because I didn't believe the other stuff. I believe like, they just running around saying all this other mess. But this stuff about him, his ego being crushed by the arrest, the album flop, and the fans troll him on social media, I told you 2024 came to collect. Now, according to page 6, they said the sheen has worn off America's one-time golden boy. And I've been saying, I told you 2024 is the year of accountability. She is not playing. Miss Mamas is on her shit this year. She said, y'all got away with this stuff for far too long. Mama has come to collect. I told him my Virgo twin Cat Williams, he wasn't lying when he said what he said on Club Shay Shay. Now, the latest kick to Justin's ego was when Page 6 reported the young cop who arrested him for DWI in Sag Harbor early Tuesday didn't recognize his face or name, saying Justin said under his breath, "This is going to ruin the tour." The cop replied, "What tour?" And he said, "The world tour." Now, can I tell y'all, I don't know if y'all been seeing these memes on social media with Justin and this is the tour, this is going to ruin the tour. They talking about what tour? The world tour. The memes have been having me cackling. So I have had a cackle or 5 at the memes. You can check them out all of it. Just oh wait, Pink News actually did a whole story on that, on the memes and all this other stuff. Let me see if I can pull one up for y'all. Oh yeah, here's one. It was like the cop when he arrested Justin. I don't even know who you are. I think people need to maybe, what would probably be another good idea? Should they resort the "I don't know her" Mariah Carey meme towards Jennifer Lopez and put that on Justin? Or is it that's just reserved for Jennifer, and then we got to come up with a whole nother one? Because I feel like even though Mariah says she don't know Jennifer, look, it's even worse than the fact that a lot of people out here talking about they don't know JT, and I think it's partially his fault because, like Jennifer, he didn't put himself in a position where he grew his audience. His audience grew stagnant. Yeah, you got the fans that grew up listening to him from the NSYNC days, the Justified era, the Future Sex Love Sounds era, the 2020 Experience era. So he got all of them, even that old Duck Dynasty era that he did, where he got invited back to the Super Bowl, and everybody dragged him because and the Super Bowl because how you invite this heifer back? But y'all still throwing shade at Janet? She's still a problem? It's the racism and the misogyny for me. So I feel like, after that, and with that album flopping, now this one, that's like a long time. It's like almost 10 years that he's kind of like falling off the radar. And people not checking for him no more like that. Quiet as it's kept, even after Usher did what he did at the Super Bowl, people ain't checking for him either. Because that new album he released this year was trash. But this ain't about Usher. This is about this heifer. So they said the 43-year-old singer is due to perform in Chicago on Friday, which we've already reiterated numerous times. But every time it's a new article, they have to remind us. And they were talking about that, but he may not have his old swag. Did he ever have swagger? I mean, you was out here swagger jacking for black folk. So I don't think he ever had real swagger. Anyway, so it says that he may not have his old swagger, especially after his latest album, Everything I Thought It Was, dropped off the Billboard 200 just after 4 weeks. Sources told the Post that the singer and actor's career is not where he thought it would be at this point. But that's his fault because he wasn't really out here dipping it and doing it with his career. He was busy being a dad, as you should when you have kids. You being a husband and a father, he took time off to raise them babies. But then again, there's always have to be ways that you are making yourself known in the industry spaces so that way people remember that your ass is here. They said the album didn't do well, and I don't see why Justin's getting big, and I don't see Justin getting big acting roles right now, said a well-placed Hollywood insider. I just think Justin has a bad reputation in Hollywood as a bit of a jerk and a pain in the ass, which is what I've been saying for years. But whenever I talk, apparently I be talking about my ass. But I said, no, it's an observation. And I've heard things about Justin, that he's an asshole, that he's entitled, that he's a brat. And this is all the stuff coming down the pike. Because my thing would have been, even if I'm not putting out music, I would have been doing a couple of acting roles here and there. At one point, he was acting, remember? But he was focusing on whatever he was focusing on. They said he's got a bit of an ego. This is what an industry insider said. The past few days, complete with Justin's glass-eyed mugshot, are a clear indication that the former NSYNC heartthrob has some very real midlife crisis issues. Are you at midlife at 43? I would think that midlife would be like in your 50s, but I guess 40 is, well, I was going to say 40 is the new 30, but if 40 was the new 30, then he would be having a midlife crisis. But maybe he is having a crisis. I would say a career crisis. That's what it is. Because midlife crisis, yeah, it is older, but I'm thinking he's going through a career crisis. It's a transition. Where does he fit in this current era of music? His music does not fit, especially when I was just watching Naomi Cannibal on YouTube talking about where are the pop boys? Like a lot of the pop boys now are boring. And I happen to agree. There aren't really any pop boys that stand out that are giving me my life on the level of Charlie XCX, a Sabrina Carpenter, who else? Oh my God, I just had a look. Adam Lambert is the closest that's giving me my life with the music right now. I'm living for his song Cunty. I'm also living for the Charlie XCX remix of Girl So Confusing, which she brought Lord out on the song. I feel like it elevates it. But a lot of you pop boys out here ain't really giving. I feel like the closest that we probably are getting, I wouldn't even say Troye Sivan, because outside of Rush and One of the Girls, that album was a bore. And I like him. But he needs to really go harder if he wants to bring it for the dance music. But the closest I've said, Tove Lo gave me my life with this new EP. And we have Adam Lambert with his EP that I think dropped today. But he also released a song called Cunty, and it was giving me my life. I thought it was going to be a remake of the Kevin Avian song. No, they just share a title, but it's a completely different song. It's like a dance electro pop track. And I like him dabbling in that space because I'm like somebody who's giving me like a free spirit, just like full on sexual, don't give a fuck. That's what we need to be given. But a lot of you, I think the problem is a lot of you male artists are boring and don't want to, and just want to play it safe. So men aren't out here being sexual because that's been placed on the women to bring the sex and to be sexual. But if you're a gay man, which, sex is a part of our situation, push the sexuality out there and people get mad. Oh, well, that's a you problem. That ain't a me problem. And they said that while Timberlake has traded on his dimple good looks and sunny charm for decades, he's not been having a great year. Everything I Thought It Was became his first solo release to miss the #1 spot since Justified in 2002. The record was met with criticism and weaker than usual sales upon its release in March. Ticket sales for the Forget World Tomorrow World Tour have also been lackluster. His golden boy image has definitely depleted. And I think also the reason why it's like the dimple good looks and the charm and stuff, that always works when you're young and you're cute. You can get away with that shit when you're young. Because, as they said in one of my favorite movies, The Boys in the Band, youth is wasted on the young. So I feel like that's what that is. It's like, but now he's 43 years old. When you get older, you can't get away with the same. Look, you can't get away with the same stuff that you did when you was younger. Because now they're like, okay, now you're too damn old to be pulling these stunts. It was cute back then. But now, no ma'am. Just like you got Kim Kardashian, all that plastic she got in her face, about she got 10 more good years. Girl, them years, you might want to slash that to a 4, because 10 years, no. You're starting to look a little weathered as we speak. I see through all the Botox. Even though that face don't move. She talking about she gonna relax on the Botox. Cause you want to take it seriously as an actress. Sis, take some acting lessons. Then they'll take you serious as an actress. And about the fact that your forehead can't move. So anyway, they said Reptile, last year's Netflix thriller, saw Timberlake deemed by critics as making his best impression of Ben Affleck in Gone Girl. First of all, I've never heard of the movie Reptile. Or maybe I did. And then when I found out that Justin was in it, I wasn't watching it. And that's another thing too. I think also when it comes to Justin Timberlake, who is he as a musician? Who is he as an actor? I don't feel like we've ever gotten Justin's true essence through his music. I've always felt that Justin has spent his entire career cosplaying Michael Jackson. I feel like in his acting, he's never really delivered as an actor. Like when he did that movie where he was hunching Mila Kunis, like it felt like he was doing a different version of a movie that already existed in that world. Like he always seemed like he's playing someone else and not really being himself. So I don't really know who Justin Timberlake is, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe the reason why he's drowning his sorrows at the bottom of a bottle and all these things is because he's got a case of imposter syndrome. It's funny how that just came to me when I was thinking about it. Maybe he does have a case of imposter syndrome. He don't know who the hell he is. They also said that he had eyes on an Oscar nomination for his role in The Social Network. Well, Chad, when I watched The Social Network, you really wasn't giving enough to where you gave about as much as J-Lo did when she played that damn stripper. I don't know why y'all thought that them roles was going to get y'all Oscar nominated. And a lot of times when it comes to Oscar nominations, it's politics. Y'all got to get out there and kiss a lot of babies and shake a lot of hands in order to even get acknowledged. And they said back then they reported that he was doing things his own way, including attending Academy screenings on his own and privately reaching out to award winners and Academy darlings, Tom Hanks and Kevin Spacey, for campaigning advice. In the end, only co-star Jesse Eisenberg received a nod, although Timberlake did get to open the Oscars in 2017 with a rambunctious performance of his nominated self-penned song, Can't Stop the Feeling, from a Trolls movie. Chill. So yeah, I feel like that's all we need to go on that whole thing. But yeah, I just feel like, you know what? His ego is bruised. I do agree with that. And everything that's been going on. And you know what? With all the stuff that was coming out about Britney, Britney in the memoir, she finally got to speak her piece, because people seem to forget once upon a time she was wrapped up in a conservatorship where she couldn't really go in and tell her side of the story. She couldn't really speak for herself. So when that book came out, she was able to tell it all. So you got away with talking so much smack about this girl all this time that when that book came out, that was a lash on the ego of the fact that you are now a part of an era in music where it's about Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They don't know you. Now, millennials might know you, and Gen X might know you because you are a millennial. So, of sorts, I think, or a Zennial. So at that point, it's like, where in the next era, like when you do eras of music, you have to always try to find a way for in the decades for those fans to know your music. And we know, like, a lot of times parents pass down the music that they grew up with to their kids. I was just watching the other day Alyssa Farrah Griffin's birthday on The View, and they had Hanson come out. I was like, wait a minute. Now, when I looked at it, I said, wait, is that Hanson? Taylor, Zach, and what was the other one? Isaac? Now, bitch, you know I grew up with Hanson. Hanson was my group. It was besides Bop. I liked all of their music. Was growing up seeing these little kids up in there playing instruments. Reminded me of me when I was a kid. So I was like, when I seen them on there, I was like, let me find out this 30-something-year-old girl knows Hanson. And they look the same too. And that's what I gagged about. That's why I said, my generation, bitch, we don't age, except Justin. She a little tattered. You know, all them years of drinking and just, you know, being white, I guess, being out in the sun. Y'all age like rotten milk. But some of y'all, not all of y'all, but yeah, I say all that to say. Okay, let me start with the roast and gags. But, oh, excuse me. But yeah, I gagged when I saw Hanson in the morning, and it was like, well, the point of me bringing up Hanson was that they said the thing that they always dreamed about doing with their music was the fact that they get to perform on stage and they look out into the audience and see generations of people supporting their music. So it's the people that were with them from the beginning when they put out their music, and people, you know, that generation, which would be probably like Gen X, millennials, and now Gen Z and Gen Alpha. So you got the kids of the parents who grew up with Hanson in the audience singing along with their songs. And that's what you want as an artist. You want generations of people following you. And if you're really that type of artist, and a lot of white folks, and this is why I give it up to the white people, y'all definitely do that. But y'all pass down, y'all trickle down y'all music taste to your kids, and they carry it. They don't do that in the black community, which is why exactly what we had that conversation about hip hop. And the fact that how a lot of the younger kids don't respect a lot of the older rap artists. But when it comes to rock and roll, when it comes to all the other type of music where white people, you know, dominate, they trickle that down. It'd have been nice if our people did it. But to wrap up this story, because I want to get to this last piece. So last but certainly not least, because I feel like this story is probably a good 30, 40 to 45 minutes, because it's a lot. The final story that we're going to get to about Justin is the fact that they said that he sold his 127-acre property at $2 million loss before the DWI arrest. Maybe that's what probably hurt him too, that he had to take a loss on his Tennessee property. And so, and they said he's been selling a lot of his properties and stuff as of late. But we'll get into that as I break it down. So the pop star sold off the underdeveloped estate for $8 million in May after dropping the price down from the original $10 million asking price, record seen by the U.S. Sun show. He purchased a 127-acre site in a picturesque village outside of Nashville for $4 million in 2015 and listed the property for $10 million this past August. You mean August of 2023. So it came as Justin struggled to sell off the last tickets for his global tour. Now, Timberlake announced the Forget Tomorrow World Tour on tight-ass Jimmy Fallon's late night show in January, because you know them to be human centipeding each other. And their whole friendship works my root canal nerve, because I'm like, damn, Jimmy, relax. Like, you literally act like you be eating his butt behind the scenes in your dressing room before you come out. Like, get off that boy's ding-a-ling. The way he be going hard for these celebrities sometimes. You be acting like a damn groupie. Anyway, so it said ticket sales for the world tour have been sluggish, with thousands of tickets still available for his next tour dates in Chicago and New York. Now, you know, probably if y'all been watching us the whole damn time and not just tuning in now, we did talk about how the prices have gone down to as little as $11. Now, at the end of June, the Cry Me a River singer is due to perform in Chicago, blah, blah, blah. We already know, because we talked about it already. Now, looking at the city map on Ticketmasters for all four shows, the arenas are illuminated in shades of blue, signifying high ticket availability. The tickets, which are a mixture of resale tickets and tickets that haven't been sold, are spread out throughout the arenas, with only a handful of sections being sold out to all the shows, which probably mean that they'll bring the ticket prices down to the same prices we talked about in Philly, which would be either $11 or the highest would probably be $50. What is the type of money that you would pay to go to like one of those small venue type events or clubs? I mean, or type of shows? So the tour moves to Europe next month, hitting Poland, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, and France. Now, according to Timberlake's website, none of the dates he's performing are sold out in any country. Damn. Despite slow sales, it was reported that the Forget Tomorrow World Tour had already amassed $140 million, some of which could be lost if, as the U.S. Sun reported this week, tour dates may be scrapped following his arrest. The sexy back singer still holds property debt on his Hollywood Hills home, which he listed for $35 million in 2021 before pulling it off the market months later. Timberlake owned the 9-bed, 13-bathroom mansion since July of 2002 when he purchased it from actress Helen Hunt for $8.3 million. Public records show that he saddled it with an $8.8 million home equity line of credit with Citibank. Citibank's your bank? Okay. With Citibank in July of 2009, a former boy band star, his wife Jessica Biel, also sold their Tribeca penthouse for $29 million in 2022. The singer mentioned his tour to the arresting officer on Monday during the traffic stop. They also went on to say that Timberlake has since apologized to his tour team and told them none of the dates will be canceled. So, a DWI charge and a potential touring flop aren't the only two scandals that may have Timberlake taking a good look in the mirror. Was that a pun to his song Mirrors? In the mirror the past 2 years. In 2019, Timberlake publicly apologized to his wife after being caught on camera cozying up to his Palmer co-star, Alicia Wainwright, in New Orleans, saying, I will say from gossip, I stay away from gossip as much as I can, but for my family, I feel it is important to address recent rumors that are hurting the people I love. This is what he wrote on an Instagram story as he apologized. Now, you can apologize for that, but you can apologize for the drinking. He said a few weeks ago, I displayed a strong lapse in judgment, but let me be clear, nothing happened between me and my co-star. Well, you could have fooled us. We've seen that hand resting on your leg, so we don't know if stuff could have happened. They didn't have a long camera lens in y'all room if y'all went back there. And he blamed it on the alcohol, which goes to show, if you blamed it on the alcohol in 2019, which is, what, 5 years ago? Then clearly this boy has a problem with alcohol and has many lapses in judgment once he throws it back a little bit too much. But he did apologize to his wife. Jessica didn't go nowhere. She forgave him just like she's going to forgive him about this and she's going to keep it moving because that's just how she is. She's going to stand by her man. Who came up with that song? Tammy Wynette? She going to stand by her man regardless of what he do. And that's that. And good luck to you, sis. So I'll say all that to say that is the latest on this Justin Timberlake subchat. It was a lot. I told you all it was. So I will definitely keep you guys abreast of the story as it develops. Tonight I know everybody's gonna be watching like a hawk. People gonna have their cameras up. They're gonna be waiting for him to acknowledge what had happened. The smart thing to do would wait till tonight's show in Chicago, address the big elephant in the room, and keep it moving. Make a little joke, say I fucked up. It was a lapse in judgment. I apologize. I'm sure y'all heard, I would make a little joke out of it, out of what had happened, and just to keep it moving. But then, honestly, in all seriousness, own up to it, because that's how I deal with stuff. I'll make a little joke, but then at the same time, I'll remorsefully own up to my stuff, just so that way we can get out, we can put it to bed, and we can move on with the tour. Address at the Chicago concert and keep it moving. So that's what I say. But I say all this to say because, child, I'm over talking about Justin Timberlake for now. But I'm sure this is gonna keep going on and on and on. And it's funny how you got Gayle and all of them making excuses and all this other stuff. We're going to continue to hear more stuff coming out about this, and that's what I love about the blogs and the tabloids and the Radar Onlines and the Page Sixes and all of them that are continuously will be reporting more stories on this. While you got the ass kissers out here making excuses, they gonna keep their foot on Justin neck because it's like you ain't gonna be able to get away with all this stuff. You're not gonna be able to slither your way out and scapegoat like you did when you was back in the day, young with them little blonde highlights, giving youthful and cuteness. Now that you look like you a banana that been left out in the sun too damn long, you can't get away with the shit you got away with before. So I ask all of you in this long-winded ass story because I combined 5 stories in one. What do you think of this latest Justin Timberlake tea? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, speaking of comments, we have a lot, and I saw it was a whole lot that was popping up while we was talking. I was like, what is that? Oh, Jeremy Pope released a new video. Yeah. Oh, I said, oh, happy birthday, Jussie Smollett. I was like, what was that? Oh, a friend of mine sent me a picture of Jussie Smollett. Apparently, it's his birthday. I've been seeing him out and about lately. Like, there's been some GLAAD events or something or another, a lot of LGBT events. Jussie Smollett has been popping up at a lot of places behind the scenes. So he's doing his thing. It said, Gayle, well, child, who you telling? We knew that she wasn't a real journalist. But that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for, mouth breathers, pundits. That's what they're putting on TV now. They don't care about all that. They say he should have bodyguard drivers wherever he goes out. That's what I said. First of all, if I was ever in Justin's situation, with if I had Justin's money, bitch, trust and believe, I'm buying all of the cars that I want. I won't be driving them, but I'm gonna get the car, and I will literally have a driver because I always want to feel posh in that way. I will have my own driver. I'm in the back seat doing my work, whatever the case is. The driver drives me wherever they need to go because they're getting a paid salary. I would be doing that. I would literally have my own driver drive me from point A to point B. And yes, you got to sign an NDA because you ain't going to be telling my goddamn business. And the funny thing was, bodyguards and drivers are the 2 people that celebrities are with from sun up to sundown. They are the ones who know the business of the deepest, darkest stories of these celebrities and stuff. That's why they was trying to bring some of them in that Diddy case, because the bodyguards are always around. The drivers are usually always around. And, when things go down in the back seats of cars, the drivers be the first hand to see it. So I would have my own driver. Like, if I had that money, I'd definitely be having my driver taking me everywhere, because it's like, I don't want to get behind the wheel. I'd rather just somebody drive me around, especially if I want to go get lit. I would have my assistant, somebody with me, be like, okay, call the driver. Let's, come get me. All this other shit. So there's also Uber and Lyft. It said, can you talk about the illegal alien that I did hear about that story. I think I saw it on, I don't know if y'all saw it. Let me go to the Neighborhood Talk, because they had that up there. And it was, there was an illegal, but sometimes, you know what, I be out here thinking, okay, so now y'all running around here trying to make it seem like that hold on. Because they had the video and stuff up there and everything, and they were showing them beating that boy up. That a good Samaritan came around, saw the situation, and was mollywopping that damn boy that was out there sexually abusing. Child, why am I still looking at Britney Spears? She will always find somewhere to twirl half naked. But I found it. Please hold. No, I hate when people be. Okay. See, this is why I hate when people hit me up when I'm doing a damn live stream. I will play this video for y'all if y'all haven't seen it. Yeah, I mean, it's not part of the show, but you want me to talk about it. So yeah, this guy went around. He assaulted a 13-year-old girl at night point, and then he recorded it, and then this dude, these people that beat his ass and held him for the police. Shout out to them. Let's play this clip.
Okay. ¿Tú qué vas? He a rapist. He don't care. He don't hit 13. Oh, okay. ¿Tú qué vas? He a rapist. He don't care. He don't hit 13. Oh, okay.
So yeah, I also would say it's like we got to be careful out in these streets when it comes to here. Look, a lot of people come into this country to receive a better life. This is basically what apparently America has been built on. I know Kevin Costner got this new movie coming out where it's like a lot of these people, coming to America to want to make a better way of life and all this other stuff, which is what that movie is about. Come to find out that there was already people that existed here thousands of years before and not realizing, okay, the Native Americans was here. So that's when, they got the whole, colonization and all that other stuff. So I get it. A lot of people, they want to leave their country, come here for a better way of life because of whatever's going on. Fascism, they got a bunch of damn um all kinds of stuff that's going on in regards to their country, and they want to leave there. They leave their whole life behind. They pay these coyotes a shit ton of money to come to America for a better way of life. Now, we can't check everybody because every now and again somebody will come and slip in. That's a damn criminal trying to escape whatever they coming to, and then they bring that shit over here. Which the thing that irritates me is how there's certain politicians, Donald Orange ass fucking Trump, who had the nerve to go to a black church the other day and try to put brown people against black people. Oh, the immigrants are coming to get your jobs. For what job? Not that work from home job. Not that job at the post office. Because everybody knows when these people come from these other countries, what job they picking? I mean, what job they doing? Migrant type jobs. And this is not a stereotype, these are facts. They're going out and they're picking strawberries. They're picking fruit and vegetables and things of that nature, things that regular people in America, black folks, ain't doing them fucking jobs. So when they talk about that, what are you talking about? In New York City, you see the migrants and the jobs they're doing. I see migrants every time I get on the train selling candy. These are the jobs they're doing: selling candy, selling water, selling fruit outside on the streets. And I've been seeing the NYPD cracking down on them. They're trying to make a living so that way they could survive. Because we got, Governor Abbott, that old crippled motherfucker, who taking the migrants from Texas, putting them on a freaking bus and dropping them off here in New York. So these are the things that we're dealing with. So when you get, with all the craziness that's going on with our country and the politicians and the stupid shit that they doing or not doing and just dropping them off wherever, and we got to deal with it. Now we have to deal with illegal aliens slipping into the country who are doing criminal shit in their country and coming here. The thing that scares me is the fact that we have certain politicians that are trying to be like the next Trump because they want to copy off of his narrative because they feel like it works for everybody. No, that works for him because he's good at marketing and riling up certain people and doing others. He's good at that. But a lot of you fake politicians, y'all are not good at doing what he does. So that works for him to a point. So what I fear is that they're going to use this narrative as a way to paint all migrants with this broad brush, like they're all a bunch of rapists, and so, which is something that Trump has said in the beginning of his previous campaign, when he referred to migrants as rapists. So that's the thing that I'm afraid of in regards of him. Okay, let me stop sharing that. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I wanted to point that out. Okay, it said a lot of celebrities have too many yes people. Absolutely, and that's why a lot of times they won't learn their lesson. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if he did this more than once. I said the same thing. I would not be surprised if he's done this more than once. I truly believe that this is not the first time that he has done this. This is the first time he got caught, but this is not the first time he's actually done what he's done. 200 illegals were busted in several buses. I remember when Reese Witherspoon was arrested and she pulled a lot of times they do that, child. It said, how many cocktails did he have before he get behind him? Okay. How much cock? Because I don't think he was getting the tail, child. They said probably at least for They say he was driving into the. Oh yeah, I did hear that too about the whole opposite lane situation. But what I don't understand is that why would he have Why did they wait for that? And this is the thing they were trying to say, oh, he was set up. Why would the police wait for him to get behind the wheel in order for him to do something for y'all to whoop, whoop, and pull him over? I don't know if that's to be true. Maybe he got behind the wheel and the police was in the, they said the police was hot. I'm like, hello, have you never been in Long Island? The police be in the cut. They be hiding, waiting for y'all to speed. And it's not even just about drunk driving, it's speeding. Because they don't play when it comes to speeding in Long Island. And them prices is crazy. Like my mother literally, I had a conversation with her yesterday and she said, she told me she mad because she was in the car driving and now she got hit with a $150 ticket. And she said she wasn't even speeding. It was the thing was broken. Not what is it? Like they have the cameras and stuff that capture if you speeding or not. She said it was broken or whatever the case was. And now, you know, she got a message or something, because this is what they do. It's like when you speed, they take a picture of your license, then all of a sudden in the mail, you get a letter stating that you got a bill that you got to pay off, a ticket. They don't. I told you they don't be playing in there. Well, what he was doing in the Hamptons, he was hanging out with friends. So the Hamptons is very much a place where a lot of people with coins, a lot of people with money, hang out. Like I told him, I have family that live in Sag Harbor. So it's a very posh, uppity area. A lot of people go out there and a lot of people drink. And not a lot of people drink. Well, yeah, they do drink. But a lot of people with money and access hang out there. So I said maybe he is worried about this. Can you imagine if he was at one of them Diddy parties and he got passed around and Diddy got him on camera getting them cheeks clapped? The police might have gotten a call from someone that was in the bar. Long Island routinely pull people over after 11 p.m. because drunk driving fines. Yeah, and that's why I said they love it because the whole tax thing, they make a lot of money with them. So they don't, I told they don't be playing out in Long Island. And their prices are ridiculously expensive when it comes to the tickets. But anyway, let's move on from that, Justin, and let's talk about this Justin, because apparently Justin Bieber is struggling for some money. He going through some things financially, allegedly. So it says that Justin Bieber appears to be cutting back on his expenses as the dad-to-be finds himself going low on cash. Now, according to Radar Online, Justin Bieber sold the rights to his music catalog for more than $200 million in 2023, but according to a new report, the pop icon is blowing through his earnings. He and wife Hailey, who's 27, were even forced to take a commercial flight in May because of his dwindling bank account. Sidebar, did y'all see that picture of Kanye and the wife Bianca, who I'm sorry, but she needs support in them titties? Because I just seen a picture of her this morning actually. Why does her boobs look like they down on her knees? Like you too damn young to be having no support in them breasts. And that's probably because that man of hers, that madman, got her walking around wearing these weird outfits that her breasts don't even look like they're a part of her body. She just look weird. But whatever. But sidebar, to get over her titties for a second. Wasn't there I could have sworn I seen a picture of Kanye and Bianca in commercial. They were flying commercial. Is commercial a bad thing though? Like, I don't think like everybody has to always fly, coach. Everybody don't have to fly, or first class, I should say. Not everybody should fly first class. I mean, that's a lot of money. Or not everybody's Kim Kardashian and can get in a private jet every damn where. So they said while they always fly private, Justin simply couldn't afford it this time, a source spilled to Life and Style. He spends more money than he's got coming in and is now having to cut back on certain luxuries. The What Do You Mean singer, who's 30, last toured in 2022 when he suddenly shuttered his Justice World Tour, just 49 dates into his 132-show run, citing health problems and exhaustion, and he hasn't released an album since 2021. Sources previously told Radar Online that the one-time sensation was considering retirement after offloading his music catalog for $200 million. Justin feels the pressure of the music biz isn't good for him. He just wants to disappear with Hailey and enjoy his money. But according to Life and Style sources, Justin has already blown through that windfall, and his lack of new income is causing friction with his wealth management team, saying they recently advised him against buying Hailey a $700,000 diamond ring, so he applied for a loan, but the loan was denied, and he purchased it anyway. Hailey showed off her new bling, 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 bling. I was like thinking of Nene when I did that. On Instagram on May 24th, saying if Justin doesn't make some changes soon, he could lose everything. He's going to go broke. Haley and Justin shocked fans on May 9th by announcing they were expecting their first child together. And here's the thing, what you got to realize, you thinking that you got to sit out here and spoil that wife with all these stupid little trinkets that you buying her unnecessarily? Because, like, okay, it's cute or whatever, you wearing you wearing an expensive ring, a $700,000 diamond ring, but you gonna wear that every day? Because my thing is, yeah, if I'm spending $700, bitch, you better wear that everywhere, including in the shower, to bed, wherever. Everywhere you go, you better have that shit on. You better wear it out. Because I don't understand people who spend so much money on things only to wear it one time. I'll be pissed. It's like, oh, you better recycle it. So they said that if he don't make changes soon, he could lose everything. He's going to go broke. This is what the tipster added. They said Haley and Justin, she took to what they said in March. She took to Instagram and shut down false speculation about the union being in trouble, claiming that in posts on social media, including one by her father, Stephen Baldwin, asking his followers for prayers for the couple were blind items from a land of delusion. Yeah, okay, sis. Now, I'm sure they think like the baby is going to be a fresh start in their marriage, but here's the thing. One of the things people need to learn is that a baby don't keep a relationship together. We've seen many people that have had children or try to use children as a way to keep the man in the picture. But for those who out here who know, a baby don't keep a man with you. You just want to end up being a single parent. And I feel like before Haley was even pregnant, people felt like their relationship wasn't going to be long lasting or that their relationship was on the rocks. But if he want to stay with her, if he feel like he loves her unconditionally, whatever, that's great. But if you're going to retire from music and music is not your only source of income like Taylor Swift, what you need to do is figure out how to make that money work for you in other ways. Why isn't it tied up in real estate? Why don't you have other things that's coming out financially that keeps you afloat? He's not an actor, so he can't accumulate money from that. He's not putting out music, so he's not accumulating money from that. He did sell off his music for $200 million. I would have been like, are you licensing your music out to studios and record labels, or not even record, like to movie studios or to commercials or whatever the case is? Like, there should have been other ways that you just should have had money coming in, because it's like, oh yeah, I got all this money. But you do know if you're not working or anything that the money depletes. Same conversation we had the other day when we were talking about Britney Spears, because she was in the same conversation about people talking about how she's blowing through her money and how allegedly she is she's eyeing like a stage comeback, that she's going to possibly go on tour and do music. And I don't know if it's going to be in a form of residency or if it's going to be in the form of like a regular world tour. And then she's going to put out music on top of that. But yeah, when you are when you are low on cash, you got to pull a Janet Jackson and, get out there and give everybody the same damn tour all the time. And Justin Timberlake is going through, Justin Timberlake, I was just talking about him earlier. That's why I got him on the brain. Justin Bieber is going through it in regards of like, he hasn't toured in a long time. He's not putting out music. He's got that Ramsay Hunt disease. It's affecting him physically and all that other stuff. So he can't really get out there and tour like he used to. I don't understand why Justin Bieber doesn't think about possibly doing a residency. You could do something on the same vein as like Adele. Weekends with Adele. It could be Weekends with the Biebs or whatever you want to call it. I just came up with a name off the top of my head. But you can come up with something like, I only perform Saturdays, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 3 days a week. You get a good amount of coin, and that's that. Because if you can't perform the way you used to, you can't do over 100 shows. First of all, that's really bad on the body. I'll do 100 something on shows if I'm in one space. But traveling around the world and doing that, people don't realize the toll touring takes on your body physically and mentally and emotionally. Like, I don't think it's natural. My generation, so many generations before, we put up with that rigorous schedule for so many years because that's what you did. You put your head down, you focused, you did what you needed to do to make that money and to pay back the label for investing a lot in you as a product. But now these days, it's like, you know what? We're in an era of like people, whenever you got ailments, whenever you got all this other stuff, people aren't going to put up with it. People aren't going to put their body through that wear and tear anymore. And if it comes down to it, I do feel like what Justin needs to do is get up there and possibly do a residency on his own terms, because I'm sure he's probably had bad experiences in this industry similar to Britney. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of the story? You think he hard up for Cass? You think that Justin, I mean, quite as Kev, I don't care. I've never been a Justin Bieber fan. I've never cared for his music, whatever, because he is not my demo. But I'm just thinking of ways that possibly he needs to get up out here and get that coin back, because you know when you got a wife at home who basically is similar to Jessica Biel and was a damn groupie when she got with you, and she needs, she ain't working and you got to keep her happy, because basically she is that stay-at-home wife or whatever. They say she's a model. I can't name one damn thing she's ever struck a pose for, but if now she's giving her life up to just supporting and being a trophy wife of her husband and now about to be a mother, you really have to have a lot of income coming in so that way you be able to take care of not only her and yourself, but an unborn baby. So let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Okay, so we have comments. It's a Ethan and Franken lives out there, but always posts videos of her getting driven to New York City for dinner. I said the odds of that marriage surviving are slim. It's just the way things are. Oh yeah, I don't see Justin and Haley last long, and I feel like people really got to stop using kids as a way to try to keep their relationship together, because I don't see it lasting. Oh, you talking about Bethany? Yeah, because I was like, you must have saw my face like, who are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? So I was like, oh, you talking about Bethany? Yeah, I definitely. Oh, you talking about? I said, who's Ethan E. Franken? You talking about Bethany Frankel? Yeah, Bethany. Bethany definitely be out in the Hamptons a lot. A lot of the housewives go out to the Hamptons. Joy Behar is always out in the Hamptons. Andy Cohen goes out to the Hamptons a lot. Who else? Don Lemon goes out to the Hamptons. Also, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos are always out in the Hamptons. And Jennifer Lopez has even been out to Sag Harbor a lot. So she's another one that goes out there. Bethany definitely. Luann de Lesseps. I tell you, a lot of the housewives, especially if you're New York, if you're of the New York elite, the two places you go is Manhattan. That'd be the Upper East Side, the Upper West Side, probably the West Village, and Chelsea, because Chelsea is not even the gay mecca no more. They done the breeders done took that shit over. So the gays, with the coin, basically ended up moving down to Hell's Kitchen. That's where the gays reside, because it used to be Chelsea. And the Hamptons was always popular. Also, yeah, Diddy was another one. Diddy is notorious for going down to the Hamptons too. His infamous white parties used to go down in the Hamptons. So that's where everybody resides now. We know the gay people with the coin. We go to Fire Island. That's where we go, because that's our mecca. I ain't doing no damn Hamptons. Although, like I said, I have family that live out in Sag Harbor, so it's cute or whatever. But if you really want to cut the fuck up, everybody knows to go to Fire Island. So it says which I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get my butt out to Fire Island on 4th of July, because I used to do that as an annual thing back in the day, but I haven't been to Fire Island in like 5 years. And every year, what I would do is with my friend, shout out to Ray Cupid and his husband, right after he would throw his big birthday bash at his house out in Brooklyn, we'd literally break day, or is it break night? We'd actually break night. I wouldn't get no sleep. We be getting lit up in the house. Oh, sidebar. See, that was the party where I actually got to meet. Remember Mario Vasquez from American Idol? And now his career, what happened with his career because of the alleged incident that happened in the public bathroom. Honey, I can tell you for a fact that bathroom tea is true, because some shit went down when I was at my friend's house, and I ain't gonna let me shut up. So Mario Vasquez, yeah, he was there. That was the last time. I think that was the last party we had at his house for my friend's birthday. And when I was like, ooh, I used to have the biggest crush on him. Then I said to him, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna give me some of that. So me being a whore aside, right after that, we got in the car, we went out to Fire Island, and then of course we had the big tent up and everything on the beach, took our little naps, and then that's when we went out and partied again. I would say that was in my backsliding days, but bitch, I ain't stopped backsliding over eon. So there's that. So let's move on with the show. And speaking of which, let's talk about Jennifer, who apparently has been out here in Italy living it up. While Ben is out here doing what he's doing, that movie and all this other stuff. I did see that there was a thing that came out about Ben where I think he did an episode of Heart to Heart with Kevin Hart. I know that's the thing that's trending right now, where he was just talking about how he went on that show and he was talking about how the thing with his wife is how her fame is just crazy and he's not really into the whole fame thing. The reason he explained the resting bitch face, why he always look mad. Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Why you mad though? Shout out to Morgan McMichaels for that horrible ass song. But if you've seen All Stars, you know what I'm talking about. But so he mentioned about the whole rested bitch right? Why he looked like that. He said he's shy, so he doesn't like a lot of attention, which would make sense because a lot of times I'm like when I'm doing this show, whatever. It's like yeah, it's funny how it's hard to explain when it comes to entertainment and stuff. It's like when it's time to then the lights, camera, action, we definitely know how to get up there and give you a show and perform, whatever the case is. So I believe like maybe he's similar to me, which is like I'm an introvert extrovert, which is someone who is very introverted, I'm very quiet, and very reserved, and I'm shy in a lot of situations. A lot of people who know me be like, that's bullshit. I'm like, yes, I'm comfortable around you. So therefore, you're not gonna see that side. But if I was to first meet you, I'm very much like resting bitch face, probably a little cold, very much like who the fuck are you and what do you want? Like I'm very much reserved in that way where like the wall is up. Because it's the protection thing, especially when you live in New York. We have that wall where it's a way of protecting ourselves. But then if we comfortable around you, that wall comes down, we're more relaxed, we're more laid back, and we're more presentable with ourselves. So maybe that is what it is with Ben. But if that's the case, why would you get with somebody who just like is the total opposite? I mean, y'all both Leos, but you got with somebody who's just like obsessed with cameras and lights and fame and all the smoke and mirrors aspect of the shallow side of the business. So this says that the singing Atlas. So after the whole thing with them splitting and all this other stuff, right now he's filming. I don't know if he's done with the movie with the Accountant too. Which they said he's been filming since March. I'm like, damn, how long is this movie? That y'all are here filming it for 3 months. Well, I know that's usually around the time that they film movies, but maybe I don't know. So apparently he's still filming this film. And so what she's been doing to try to get over Ben, because we talked about the last time on the show, that she's sick and tired of trying to fight for the marriage because she's going all out trying to fight for this marriage and he's not. She's giving up. And you want to know something? Even though we be bashing Hannah for a lot on this show over her ego and how she is and how she's narcissistic and she's not the nicest when it comes to, regular schmegular people, I do feel for her only in this situation. When she split up from A-Rod, Ben was the one who pursued her. He was the one that was in the media talking about how, reminiscing, in the words of Mary J. Blige, reminiscing on the love we had, make the time tonight. He was doing all that. Reminiscing on the love they had, love bombing her, trying to get her back in the good grade. And remember, she said that Ben was the only one of her that she's ever been with that truly broke her heart, that whole relationship. She was deeply in love with him. So she was the one that was like, you know what, after you love bombing me and you sending me a lot of love notes and stuff, which she did mention that she used a lot of that as reference for This Is Me Now album that nobody cared about. She used that as a reference point, a blueprint for recording that album by bringing it to the songwriters and stuff. So he was doing all this, whining and dining her and showering her and blowing all that smoke up her ass. And that's a whole lot of ass, honey. So he was blowing all that smoke up there. And then after all of that, now that the relationship is what it was, and now apparently the honeymoon phase done wore down. Now you want to backpedal. Now all of a sudden you pulling away. And now she's feeling hurt because she went all in and she took the risk and she was willing to give you another chance, knowing full on what happened the last time when y'all was in a relationship where she had to guard her heart. And the minute she decided to throw out a little bit of that ice around that heart, you pounced and you took advantage. And now she feels betrayed. And now she's mad. And now she's out in Italy on a yacht, living her best life with her friends and left the kids at home. I'm like, child, first of all, if you got kids, why are you leaving them kids at, ladies, leave your kids at home. Why are you leaving your kids at home when you should be putting them kids with you? Like, if I'm on a yacht, I'm bringing my kids with me. Or maybe if they're at the age where they're teenagers, it's like, I don't want to be hanging out with my mother. So maybe it's, they're all doing, kids got their own life, especially when they're teenagers. So I'm like, okay, y'all can stay at home. Y'all with the nanny or with Lupe, because where's Lupe going? And she watching. While I go on the yacht, live my best life, snatched for the gods, and looking glam. And I have to say, the pictures that I seen of her, and first of all, J-Lo is not stupid. She was posing on that damn yacht. So she knew the paparazzi was watching. So according to People magazine, they said the singer and Atlas star was photographed smiling and catching some rays aboard a boat in Italy on Tuesday. June 18th, showing off her abs in a cream-colored bandeau top and coordinating with multicolored shorts and gold peep-toe heels. Lopez, whose husband Ben Affleck was not seen along with her for the outing, also carried a Christian Dior hat basket bag and accessorized in gold sunglasses as she was seen spending time with other individuals out on the water. The outing comes as sources told People on Wednesday that Lopez, who's 54, has been making plans to travel this summer amid strain in her marriage with Affleck, 51, because she said she was going to spend time with family and friends. But at least she is actually doing that. She's spending time with her friends on a yacht in Italy. Now, Live Nation also announced on May 31st that when Lopez canceled her planned concert tour, that the Dolola founder is taking time to be with her children, family, and close friends. Amid marital tensions, Lopez and Affleck have been quietly trying to sell the $61 million Beverly Hills home they bought together in 2023. The Marry Me star has been living in the house while her actor/filmmaker husband is staying at a rental home a few miles away, according to sources, but the pair see each other every few days, one insider recently told People. The duo have remained friendly, stepping out together for family events. They recently attended a graduation party for Affleck's son Samuel, who's 12, alongside Affleck's ex-wife Jennifer Garner at a rental home in Brentwood, California, where they wore their wedding rings. So they also said, well, we already know. She got, she sent out the Father's Day lovey-dovey situation, calling him our hero on Father's Day on the IG. She has the twins, Max and Emmy, who she shares with Mark Anthony, and then and Ben's got his 3 children and all that other stuff. And you know what? I'm not even mad at her. It's like, if she want to go out and live her best life, this is the perfect time to do it. If I was her, I would be in the same boat. It's like look, my belief is to get over someone is to get under somebody new. But we've already criticized Jennifer for always hopscotching in relationships, which I don't think she should do, right? So there's the picture. I was like, yeah, she out here striking a pose because Miss Mama ain't stupid. She was like, oh, I'm going to show you what you're missing. And look, she is a good-looking woman. She's been able to maintain her youthfulness for the most part. That body is snatched for the gods. I really hope that they work this relationship out, but unfortunately, here's what it is the fact that Ben seems like he's checked out. She was willing to make the relationship work, but he should have known who he got with when he got with her. Jennifer Lopez is not changing who she is in regards of being that A-list diva, glitz and glam type girl. She's not going to change who she is for you. I mean, don't get me wrong, not everybody likes the spotlight. And like he said, he don't like the spotlight. So this relationship was doomed for the start. I don't know how you thought that she was going to change her situation when she's always going to be that big glam girl that when she walked down the street, the celebrities are want to, people are going to want to come up to her, get their picture or whatever the case is, regardless of the attitude. I'm just saying, like the image of Jennifer that she put out there, she's always going to give that. You are the opposite. You're not somebody who likes that type of stuff. So I feel like the next thing you need to do is maybe do like Brad Pitt. Get in a relationship with somebody. When y'all get the divorce, you need to get a relationship with some Latin chick who nobody knows who she is, like not well known in a lot of spaces, or date a regular woman, which is what Jennifer Garner gave. Jennifer Garner, even though she is an actor in her own right and she is popular and successful in a lot of ways, Jennifer Garner is not necessarily a big name. We know her from Alias. We know her as Elektra in them horrible ass Daredevil and Elektra movie. Which sidebar, I did hear she's in Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm looking forward to seeing her in that, reprising her role as Elektra. But for the most part, we don't necessarily, she's not that big A-list star where she's out here trying to be on the same level as Jennifer Lopez. She's an actress. So that's what you need. You need a regular girl. You can't get with a girl whose image is that I'm a regular girl, but you don't live your life like a regular, because regular girls ain't hanging out on yachts. Regular girls ain't walking around in Christian Dior or Versace. A lot of people ain't, are not like that, where they talk about, oh yeah, I'm just a girl from the hood. But I'm like, sis, you don't dress like one because girls from the hood can't afford Versace unless it's fake, unless you got it from Chinatown or whatever. So I say all this to say, shout out to you, Hannaful. Hopefully you work your situation out, but I do hope at this point, after this relationship, sis, you really need to follow the advice that you did from that This Is Me Now musical, and you really need to take time to work on you and not and spend time with your kids. Focus on being a single mother, per usual. Focus on your career and put less energy in running behind these damn men, because you are so much more than the men you latch yourselves onto. And by you doing that, it makes you look a certain kind of way. And I know I don't know, hopefully it doesn't make me sound like I'm being misogynist, like you making you feel a certain kind of way. Because look, I did throw blame on Ben too. Ben is not innocent in this situation. You was the one that pursued her. She had moved on and was with the other people that she was with. And I looked at like, you know what, her and Ben might have been soulmates. But after hearing about the way that he came after her and only for him to pull away, then it's like, okay, are you a sociopath? Like, sometimes that makes me wonder. So let me know what you got. And I know, like, when it comes to Leos are very much like that. They fall hard, they get wrapped up in this whole situation, then all of a sudden they get bored, and then it's on to the next. So let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Okay, so driver's seat says the gays have taken over Coney Island's Mermaid Parade and Bed-Stuy. Bed-Stuy used to have closeted gay. Ooh. In the church. Now they coming out and mixing with the new arrivals. I've never been to the Mermaid Parade. I would like to go. I know we got more Pride events coming around soon. I know we got Bronx Pride. I think that's this weekend. I kind of want to do the Manhattan one, but I know how I get. Like with the crowds, the anxiety is going to be through the roof. So I might actually, I don't think I'm going to do the parade this year. I think I'll probably do a couple of the parties over the weekend, but not necessarily the parade itself. The parade is going to drive me to drink because I'm going to be irritated with the amount of people, the police getting on my fucking nerves, because I know a lot of people don't want the cops being there. Because remember, the whole Pride thing started out as a riot because the police were discriminating against the gay people and drag queens and trans people, because those were the ones that was in the clubs. And then, of course, they got tired of being, raided and arrested and harassed by the cops. So that's why people don't want the cops there. We could police our own shit. We don't need them. So I don't think I'm gonna do the parades because the parades get on my nerves. I'll probably just watch it on TV because I know they're gonna stream it all over television or whatever the case was. Probably, I think on Hulu they'll show it because that's what I have. So I'll probably just watch it, but then later on I'll go out at night and live it up in my little shorts, looking for some trade, honey. So I'll probably be out there doing that instead of going to the parade, because the parade, like I said, is going to get on my nerves. The amount of people that's going to be out there, the barricades everywhere. No, you can't go this way. You got to go this way. Then trying to get through the people. And then the food is overpriced because y'all want to take advantage of us out here because we hungry or whatever the case is. So it's like, I got to eat before I go. I probably got to buy me some of my own little alcohol, put it in a flask and have it on me so I can get a little bit lit while I'm out there instead of having to be overcharged at these establishments. So I got a whole situation, a whole plan. Every time you see Jeff Bozo, he's holding hands with his bimbo. You talk about Jeff Bezos and what's her name, Lauren Sanchez. Remember at one point Lauren Sanchez was a personality. She was what was she doing? Oh, she was the original host of So You Think You Can Dance, and they fired her ass because quiet as it's kept. I've been looking at Lauren Sanchez. Don't she look like the Joker? So Lauren Sanchez, and then, but look, she good because she with Jeff Bezos, so he taking care of her ass. She don't need to work. Then they brought in Cat Deely. You said Malik Yoba will probably be at the gay parade scoping out. Not the young men. But I thought he was into. I thought he liked the T girls. I don't know if he necessarily is into men. I mean, if he is, look, I'll shoot my shot. Malik Yoba's cute. One of the things I was kind of upset about back in the day when I was on New York Undercover, I never got the opportunity to meet him. I got to meet Lauren Velez and I got to meet Jonathan LaPaglia, but I never had the opportunity to meet Malik Yoba. So that was like, child, I would have threw it. I would have went, back in my bottoming days because that's when I was really young. I would have threw it back on him. But anyway, let's move on and let's talk about Madonna. So we got the latest because remember, she was tardy for the party, her own party. That would be the celebration tour. And so we got the latest tea, which is basically letting everybody know that the case has been dismissed, that they try to take advantage of the queen. And she was like, this dumb, no, you're not trying to get my coins because I showed up late. First of all, those of us who have been following Madonna, we've known that Madonna has always never shown up on time for her own damn concerts. This goes back to, as far as I can remember, because my very first Madonna concert that I ever went to was Confessions. So when she did a Confessions tour, she never came out on time. Also, she always turned the AC off, so it was always hot up in there. So all these things, when you could have just did a easy Google schmoogle, they try to get slit and get some coins, but it looked like they ain't getting shit, except now they got to pay the attorneys and all this other stuff because when you lose the case, you end up having to pay, not Madonna. So according to Rolling Stone, it says the two concert goers who attended Madonna's Brooklyn show for her celebration tour and subsequently sued over a delayed start time have voluntarily dismissed their lawsuit, according to court documents filed on Wednesday. According to the filing reviewed by Rolling Stone, plaintiffs Michael Fellows and Jason Alvarez gave notice to their dismissal with prejudice, meaning that their claims cannot be refiled. Jeff Warshawski, representing both Madonna and Live Nation in the case, filed a letter on Wednesday, further stating that the dismissal was not the result of any settlement between the parties. Warshawski further wrote that Madonna and the concert promoter do not agree with plaintiff's position that each party should bear its own fees and costs, as the dismissal notice first said, pointing toward their legal expenses, including filing 2 motions to dismiss, as well as opposing a false settlement notice, the court spiked last week. Now, it says defendants believe that this action was a frivolous strike suit designed to force them to incur legal expenses. Plaintiffs have now abandoned the lawsuit when it became clear that this approach would not result in settlement payment and that they would need to oppose defendants' motion to dismiss the amended complaint. So, I don't know why y'all thought y'all was going to just go up in there, be slick, and get a payday. But it was like, oh, hell no. See, Madonna got a lot of smart people that she works with or represents her. It ain't got nothing to do with the fact that she's got a lot of money and she's wealthy or whatever the case is. It's the fact that this is what I don't say. And then I remember Robert and I was talking, and then he said that people were talking about they need to come up with a rating system for concerts. And I'm sitting there like, what? Why we got to come up with a rating system now? Like this is some, Tipper Gore type bullshit when it came to the movies. Oh, we need a PG-13, a rated R. Like, no, you're not doing that on my art. Oh, we got to put a parental advisory like they did with albums. Like, we don't need that. Like, that's dumb in my opinion. So all you have to do is, if you're buying tickets for a concert that has already started, because I know like a lot of people, they do the pre-sales or they wait until, depends on whatever. But if you're the type of person that's like, the concert hasn't even hit the road yet, the pre-sale tickets is going to go out there. Like, to me personally, I would sit and wait until at least, if you're not someone who's like a hardcore fan of somebody and you're not necessarily sure if you're going to see that tour, whatever happened to going on Google? Like, Google is your friend. Whatever happened to going on social media, looking up the tour, reading the reviews and the people who actually went to the tour, just so that way you're aware of what to expect. Like one of the guys talking about, oh, well, I was traumatized because I didn't know there was going to be nudity. Madonna had women with their titties out during the girly show. She took elements from a lot of her past tours and those other stuff and put it into the new tour, just remixed it a little bit. So yeah, there was nudity up in there. Madonna's making out with her dancers. There's always sex thrown in some sort of way. This is nothing new. Like for her being I can understand if she was a new artist and that was like a concern. Like if a Sabrina Carpenter or Olivia Rodrigo pulled this and you was having that moment because she's a new artist. But Madonna has been doing this for 4 decades. You know what you're going to get when you go to her concert. She has never steered away from being controversial on her live stages, through her music and through her art. Like this is nothing new. So now y'all want to come in here acting brand new, thinking y'all was going to get a payday or try to get a refund back on your ticket, that you was going to sit up in there, have a good old time, enjoy the show. But then afterwards you want to complain because maybe you falling hard on financial times and you thinking you're going to get this money, but you don't realize filing a lawsuit and going to court and all this other stuff and getting a lawyer and all this stuff, that's more money coming out of your pocket than you just going to the concert, saying you didn't enjoy it, and being like, you know what, I'm going to take that L. And the next time I go and I watch a concert or whatever the case is, or Madonna concert, I'm not going to go ever again. I'm going to just wait till it pop up on one of the streaming services and watch it that way. That way it's like, I didn't pay $200 or whatever, how much I paid for that ticket. I'll just sit at home and watch it for $9.99 on one of the streaming services that'll end up on, be it Netflix, depending on which, package you got, or if it ends up on HBO Max or one of the streaming services, like I said. So to me, like I said, this is bullshit. I'm glad that they got up. She was able to, like, all this was settled. Now I'm sure she has a couple of more cases going, like the one I mentioned earlier with the Queen that was sitting up in here talking, that went on all them damn shows and was spewing the bullshit about how he was traumatized with seeing some boobs at a Madonna concert. And that's that old homosexual, misogynistic bullshit. You scared of titties? I don't even like women in that way, and I'm like, I didn't mind the boobs. I'm like, titties are titties. You ain't never seen titties before? They're part of a woman's anatomy. They're part of a woman's body. It is what it is. I'm sure you sucked on a couple when you was a baby, and you had to get that good old milk that wasn't homogenized. So I don't understand why you got a problem with that. But whatever. Shout out to you, Madonna. You got away with that one. And she was looking good in them pictures. That's why I had to pull those up, because she posted that on her social media. And I was like, yes, mom, you better work. Looking all youthful and things. Shout out to her photographer, her makeup artist. But let me know what you all think of this story down below. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's talk about Cameron, who is going in on Jay-Z. And said the following. So now they're saying former rapper turned media personality Cameron thinks that Jay-Z loves money more than the hip-hop culture he has had the privilege of benefiting from. Now, Jay-Z decided to pay tribute to another GOAT last week. He performed public service announcement during Tom Brady's Patriot Hall of Fame induction ceremony and was shown love by the ex-quarterback in return. Other high-profile celebrities were less than thrilled with Jay's decision. However, some criticized it for taking such a low-key role in Brady's ceremony. Others, like Cameron, went as far as to suggest that Jay-Z is indifferent to the hip-hop culture. Now, Cameron made this bold claim during a June 18th episode of his podcast, It Is What It Is. And he basically went in and said that he believes that Jay-Z doesn't love hip hop as much as he claims he does, that he loves money more than he loves the culture. And in so many ways, when I was listening to what he said, I definitely agree with him. I feel like Beyonce is the same way. Y'all love money a little too much than y'all love the culture. A lot of y'all try to disguise it as you got love for the culture or some of this stuff, but I do feel like Jay-Z is definitely money hungry. Like, nobody's taken away from the fact that he has had a huge cultural impact in how hip hop has become what it is. But he said that's what I loved about what he said in the clip, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna actually play it for y'all. That he was like, you know what? But someone who actually shows genuine love for the culture and shows, like, you know what, he's not too big for the culture is Nas. That, yeah, Nas got just as much my money as Jay-Z does, because he's got a lot of his money in a lot of other endeavors. So he's good on coins. Even though he's not, he is still putting out music though. I will give Nas that. He's still putting out music, and yeah, he's still got it as an artist. He's a man in his 50s, still putting out music, but he's doing other things. But he hasn't forgotten where he's come from. He hasn't forgotten his roots. So I want to play all this clip so hear what Cameron had to say, and then we'll come back and we'll talk.
My personal opinion is this. Jay-Z is, I'm not saying he's not a hip hop historian. He doesn't know about hip hop. He had won a Writers Guild Award or some type of award, and he named probably every rapper from 1978 to 2014 or 15, whenever he won the award, like every rapper in between that time. I believe that Jay-Z, to me, my personal opinion, is not in love with hip hop. I think he likes hip hop a lot. I think he likes money more and opportunities to take his brand to the next level. And some of the stuff that may have been going on in Hip Hop 50 may have not been up his alley. When you see him running the entertainment for the NFL, we never had anybody black run the entertainment for the NFL. We don't even got a black owner. So to me, it's about taking steps and levels. And for him, when I say for me, my opinion of what he's doing and what Antonio Brown said about making strides. We don't know what the play is. I was talking to Larry again in my nigga church about sometimes you do something for somebody so they could do something for you. Favor for a favor. It's not always a money thing. And we don't know if he did that for Robert Kraft or Tom Brady. So Robert Kraft or Tom Brady could do something for Rock Nation or for something, one of his charities, or come to Blues birthday. We don't fucking know. You don't know what it's about. But as far as the Hip Hop 50 thing is concerned, I don't think he loves it as much as somebody like Nas loves it. Nas loves hip hop. I seen some footage about 3 years ago. Nas had met Slick Rick for the first time, and it looked like a 3-year-old walking in a candy store. He jumped up and down. He did a skip. He's like, oh my fucking God, it's Slick Rick. And the homage he paid to Slick Rick, as he should, as we all should, for a pioneer who paved the way for us to all be doing our thing today, it was just like refreshing to watch, because Nas is on he's another money nigga too, but he loves hip hop. Nas threw a hip hop 50 shit at Yankee Stadium. You don't get no more hip hop than that. He's from Queens, threw a 50-year hip hop shit in the South Bronx, where hip hop was created. When he could have did it in Shea Stadium, he could have did it at any other venue in Queens, where they play on the U.S. Open, all that shit. He did it in the South Bronx, where hip hop is created. And to me, that's the difference in the love for hip hop between those two. Where Jay-Z, I'm not saying he doesn't love it, but Nas is going to say, fuck that. We going back to the South Bronx and we going to do this. But Nas is going to do documentaries about the Supreme Team. So as opposed Jay-Z saying, nah, we need to take this somewhere else and let's start getting our culture at halftime of the Super Bowl. So I get what AB's saying, but at the same time, you have to think about business as well. And I think that Jay-Z operates on business as opposed to feelings.
Okay, so I just wanted to play that whole thing. Wait, hold on. I was like, let me pause it. In so many ways, I actually agree with him. It's the fact that I feel that when you've gotten to a place in your career where you are like one of the biggest, most successful in the hip hop space, and you have the opportunity to move the culture forward, that you are someone who actually is in charge of getting a lot of black artists to perform at the Super Bowl, even though a lot of black folks or any black folks have a seat at the table in regards of like ownership and all that stuff, but we get to be in charge of the music. So we get to shuck and jive for these white people, but we don't get to have a seat at the table in regards of performance. And I mean, in regards of like owning a football team or whatever the case is. So He's got he's got the thing at Grand Army Plaza. I don't know if that's still around. The Brooklyn Public Library, which is a library I used to actually I grew up going to as a kid. That was like one of the main libraries when I grew up, because I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn. A lot of times, my parents would take me and my siblings. We would go to the library. We had to pick books of their liking. We got to pick one book that I wanted for myself that I get to enjoy, but I had to also pick educational books and all sorts of stuff because my parents was very much into having highly educated children. It only worked for one of us out of the three. You can guess which one it worked for, but the other, so, I always had to throw a dagger. But in regards of like all that stuff, Jay-Z is someone who is very much influential as part of hip hop culture. Unfortunately, the thing to me, it just seems like that he seems to be more in bed with the money and getting caught up in being in that elite space with them people rather than really moving the culture forward, really caring about the culture. Like, how you up in here shucking and jiving for some damn Tom Brady, but then a hip hop 50 event, you can't be there for that. You can't really show up and be about, but then you can get on the stage at the Grammys and bitch and moan about your wife not winning album of the year. So it just kind of goes to show that I understand you was up there defending her, but it just goes to show, like, thinking back on this now, it just shows like where your priorities are. People like Jay-Z and stuff always seems to me like y'all so caught up in the material things of awards, how many awards you're winning, or you didn't get this, because then what does it do? That it puts a notch on your belt as, okay, now that's a new feat that your wife has, but how does that help the people coming up behind her? How does that help the culture? How does that help with this? It ain't about just you getting an award and it's all about you. It should be about how do the moves that you make move. How does that move the culture forward? Because a win for you is a win. I always say, like, when it comes to certain people, especially when you're a minority moving in a lot of majority spaces, a win for you should be a win for all of us. That part, that door gets kicked open just a little slightly more, so that way those people behind you get to come in. But a lot of times you get those people in those positions that once they get in the room, they don't want anybody else behind them coming in the room along with them. It's that selfishness, that crab in the barrel type situation that in our community we tend to do. So I do love the fact that when, he brought up, as like, you know what, Nas, even though, he is someone who's similarly on the same level as a Jay-Z, when Slick Rick walk in the room, because that's an idol, he gets giddy. He turns into a little kid. He still reverts back to, this is why I do what I do. These are the pioneers, the people that I looked up to, and I got to occupy that space. And now I'm going to pay it forward. And that's how it should be. It shouldn't be about, being selfish or only caring about the wrong shit, which is, I'm going to tap dance for these white folks over here. But then when it comes to the culture and when it comes to really helping and moving the needle forward, that's not what you all about. So I do agree that I do feel like a lot of times these celebrities get so wrapped up in the financial aspect and money and just having so much of it and being, corporate greed and all the other stuff, that they sometimes forget where the hell they came from. And I do feel like Jay-Z is in that situation. So I asked all of you this question. What do you think of this story? Do you agree with Cameron on his assessment? Yeah, that's all I gotta say on that. Do you agree with Cameron's assessment, or do you have whatever your thoughts are, just leave it in the comments. All right, so let's move on and let's talk about Remy, who is standing by her child, as she should, because that's a mother. Standing by her child over them red rum charges that came out, where he apparently took the life of a man in Queens back in 2021. So Remy Ma has extended support to her son following his arrest on the charges of first-degree murder, criminal possession of a weapon, and reckless endangerment. On Tuesday afternoon, which would be June 18th, the rapper's son, a 23-year-old Jason Scott, was arrested and taken to the 113th precinct in Queens, New York, in connection to the fatal June 2021 pow-powing of Darius Gillibo. Gillibo, who was 47 years old at the time of his death, was red-rummed on 148th Street and Rockaway Boulevard. In a statement given to TMZ, Remy, whose name Remy Ma should say, whose real name is Reminisce Smith, doesn't doubt her son's innocence. She said, "We stand by Jason's innocence and pray that the NYPD will conduct a complete and thorough investigation and reveal the truth. This is undoubtedly a difficult time for my family and me. While we sincerely appreciate the love and support we have received from all of you, we kindly ask for privacy as our legal team works to prove Jason's innocence." So I will say this, I'm with her on that. It's like, yeah, let the police do it, let the NYPD handle it, let them do what they need to do. But I should also finish that she did go on to say, "As his mother, I want to address the situation personally, but have been strongly advised by his legal counsel not to say anything, as most people in similar situations are informed by their attorneys due to it being an active case." And with it being an active case, I do feel like you don't want her. I would say, as a mother, I know you want to do whatever to defend your child because that's what mothers do. They want to, even if they child is guilty, it's a mother trying to defend her cub from whatever the case was. You know, a lioness defending her cub from whatever situation. And as a parent, you have a right to do that. And you don't want to do anything to sabotage, because a lot of people out here with their loose lips tend to tarnish people's cases, and you don't want to do that. So I'm here for that in regards to that situation. But what I feel bad for is like what happened, because it's like it seems like we live in a time where a lot of young people, especially children of celebrities, get so wrapped up in this whole gangster culture because that's where their parents came from. King with T.I. and Tiny and that whole, situation, that little boy who grew up privileged wants to be a goon so damn bad. Same thing with Jason. I understand that there was a point in his life where Remy went to prison for pow-powing that girl up in the club in the stomach, and she went and did like, what, 6 years? And that's a chunk of Jason's life missed that she can't get back. So there may be some resentment with that sort of situation. So sometimes I wonder with that as well. There might be a little resentment in their relationship with that. But once she came back home, that's the time when you go and try to repair and make up for lost time. So I don't know what's been going on behind the scenes in regards to that, but I don't understand. It's like, why are you out here becoming a red room for hire? Where you taking people's lives because somebody charged, like your mother has enough money, Papoose got enough money, where they could be basically taking care of this Nepo child, but you want to run out here busting guns and taking people's lives. Like, why throw your life away for that? So we're going to let the NYPD do what they do. And we'll see what the verdict is when they've conducted their investigation and see what it is. But no shade, but Miss Remy, this don't look good on your end, especially when it comes to your child. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think that Jason might be guilty, or do you think that, he's innocent in this whole situation? Whatever your thoughts are, leave it in the comments down below. Now, let's move on and get to our next topic, which would be Swizz Beatz out here showing his entire ass alongside Timberlake by announcing they getting in bed with the reviving verses for Twitter, and announced the foolishness on none other than this damn Juneteenth chair. So, they made the announcement, and the people's had a whole lot to say about it. So we're going to get to their comments in a second. But Swizz and Tim have agreed on a deal to distribute verses through Elon Musk's platform, the Twitter. The two announced the move during an activation at Cannes, France on Wednesday as taught by Billboard. Verses, which began in 2020 and quickly rose to prominence, has now come under the exclusive distribution umbrella of the Twitter. I refuse to call it that other name. The move follows Swizz and Timberlake's reclamation of full ownership from Triller earlier this year. We are beyond excited to have found the best partner for Versus. Not only are we excited to have Versus on, I almost called it Verizon, Versus on that other letter, the one that comes before Y. It comes after W. So they said they're excited to help the Twitter build the biggest entertainment company in the world. Which is weird to me, because I don't understand how y'all told me y'all want to help. Why are you helping this racist over there when you're in a position where it's just like, why didn't you go to like a YouTube? Why didn't you go to, aren't there any black entrepreneurs or streaming things that's out here that you could have possibly looked into? I would have said, I know one person said, why didn't they go to Zeus? I don't think Zeus has the money to acquire licensing for any of the artists that they got coming out that would go on a versus. I don't think Lemmy and them could afford, you know, if Missy Elliott decided to do a versus and clear her catalog. I do not think that they have the money to put up. So when you look at someone like an Elon Musk, say what you want about him, but he got the money. But of all the people, I don't understand why you would go to him. Especially when you're, oh yeah, we get to keep the deal. We get to 100% own it. It's black owned, but look who you're doing business with. I just don't understand how, a lot of times these so-called rich folk just be tone deaf with the deals that they make. And it just goes to show, y'all don't, similar to the thing that they were saying about Jay-Z and the culture. I just feel like when you look at people like a Swizz Beatz and a Timberland, who are also pioneers in the hip hop space, R&B pop space, based off of the music they produced throughout my youth, I feel like y'all missed the boat with it. Like, are you really for the culture, or y'all just be saying this shit because at the end of the day, it's all about the money? And I truly believe, stand on business when I say all money ain't good money. So it says, despite Swizz and Timberland's excitement, the deal has not been met without its detractors. Many social media users have voiced concerns about partnering with Elon Musk, raising issues related to alleged discriminatory business practices associated with Musk. Some critics argue that the show, a hit during the pandemic, should have ended alongside it. Agreed. Because I was going to say, who asked for this? Like, I feel like post-pandemic, we ain't out here looking forward to verses. I have not heard one person even before this announcement, I was saying, you know what I miss? I miss verses. I just feel like, out of sight, out of mind. And we all, the majority of us have moved on. Now, I know I'm sure there's people out there that are looking forward to this. But for the most part, me personally, they made this announcement. I just didn't care. The only reason why I thought the story was interesting is because what the people were saying. So I was like, oh, this gives a little more fat on the bone, a little meat on the bone, where we could talk about it and add a little more nuance to the story. Because when they talk about the announcement, I'm like, okay, who cares? Like, I'm not going to watch it. I don't care. Although I will say this, if y'all haven't watched that Tiny Table, what's that? Yeah, I think it's called Tiny Table episode with Shaka Khan. That was a good one. At least she made up for that mess when she did the verses with who was it, Stephanie Mills? That was a mess. And that's because she couldn't remember her own damn lyrics. She was hiding Cooter Brown, or probably drunk, or both. So when she did the Tiny Desk concert, that's on YouTube, which I remember on Father's Day, when I was hanging out with my father for Father's Day, I did tell him, I was like, you need to what? Because my father loves him as Shaka Khan. That's like one of his all-time favorite artists. He even had a birthday cake with her face on it. That's how much he loves Shaka Khan. He even has her picture in a frame. So there's that. But anyway, so a couple of people, what the people said, Godiva Goddess said, black owned, but working with that man, laugh emojis, the jokes write themselves. Someone by the name of Aspen wrote black owned on Twitter, Elon's platform. Now, Nurice Targaryen, fierce name, wrote, I wish this concept died with the pandemic. Versus was organic and fun back then. Now it's forced and a major media engine behind it. Not sure why Tim and Swizz want this concept to work so bad. Exactly, because like I said, it should have died with the pandemic. We don't care. We done moved on. Now everybody want to get out the house and see performances. They don't want to be sitting in the house. We had to do that because we was forced to. Even though I will say, look, COVID and the RSV is still popping up and around and things. I just saw a thing about Glenn Close, who's shooting that sequel to The Glass Onion. I forget what the name of the new movie is, but she was filming it and she wound up with both. She got COVID and RSV. So another person put, imagine using this pic to flex being black owned. You have to laugh. And that's, of course, the picture I got up. Another person put, screaming black owned and standing next to a South African billionaire who hates black people is the craziest flex of Juneteenth. Another person put in caps, we do not care, comma, black owned just to help someone like Musk that doesn't like black people. Another person put, it's way too late for hashtag versus. We have moved on anyway. Another person put, this is insane that their marketing team or whoever thought this would be a good look and on this day. Versus has ran its course and did what it needed to do for the time it was needed. This is a lame sellout energy. And like I said, it was basically created during the COVID-19 lockdown. And, it worked then because it was like we was all at home watching it. And because we couldn't go out, we couldn't do anything. There was a lot of things that worked during the pandemic. There was a lot of people that were able to benefit off of being stuck at home during COVID. Me being one of them, deciding, at home, I really, pushing myself harder into occupying the YouTube streaming space. Because it's like, when you're at home, what can you do? So I'm sitting up in there doing celebrity news and gossip. It manifested other ways, but now it's manifested into Chris Avalon Unfiltered. But before I was doing, Wednesday Night Kiki with EJ. And then he wound up, which ended up him producing my regular Chris Avalon show. And then now it's morphed into this. So we've all, in so many ways, found ways to, create entertainment and stuff with post-COVID and all that other stuff, or during the whole COVID situation. But in regards of this versus thing, I honestly do not think that, when it comes out, people's gonna care. Because more people was going in and they said, this is sad and nothing to celebrate. Another person put hashtag Trump 2024. Okay, you could shove that hashtag up your ass, sir or ma'am. Another person put versus was at its best before all the production. Another person said what I said, all money ain't good money. Somebody put Katy Perry versus Taylor Swift as that's the way this looks to be going. Child, I wouldn't be surprised. Now they said, somebody put, can we get Diddy versus Jermaine Dupri now? The dude that wants to bring back apartheid is cool with us. But anyway, and then remember, they sold it the first time to that other thing and it didn't work out. Now you're going on Twitter. So I don't know if people care enough. I would say I'm sitting up here throwing shade at Twitter when in fact, look, some people do it when it comes to stuff. But I'm live streaming my show through the Twitter. So I say all that to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do y'all even care about Versus coming back? Or do you feel like the ship has sailed, that it was good for what it was when it came out, and now we've all moved on to big and better things, and they misstepped with this, and now they need to put this damn show out the pasture? I'm sure maybe, depending on who they get to come on and do the verses, it may change people's mind. But I feel like now, at this point, people, out of sight, out of mind, people done moved on. Look, I also heard that Khloe Kardashian signed on to do a podcast through the Twitter. So they still accumulating talent to try to make Twitter into this big thing. But I guess unless she color inside the line and don't come out of it like Don Lemon did, she'll get to keep her show. Or she'll get to keep her show, and it gets to stream through the Twitter. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Okay, so he was like, Felix said, I do think he loves money. I think that's awesome. Absolutely. There's a lot of people that, that do that. Oh yeah, this was another thing I forgot about too. Like, Timberlake did rub me the wrong way when he basically took up for Justin, because Justin, he want to shuck and jive for Justin Timberlake back when, at the time he had produced some songs for his latest album. Because who else Justin gonna work with besides Timberlake? But Timberlake beats ain't been popping since like the mid 2000s, quiet as it's kept. And, Pharrell done moved on. He got the Louis Vuitton collection, which I just saw the other day. And I have to say, I am living for his Louis Vuitton collection. First of all, I'd be like, how he be shutting down these spots and wherever he be at to do these big, extravagant runway shows. And the clothes be given. The fashions was given. I was looking for them handbags. The men was carrying around. And he always got men pushing around a little thing, a trolley with like luggage on it. I'd be living for what he be doing. But yeah, and then he premiered this new song with the clips that I think who's on the chorus? John Legend. I was like, oh, that's a cute song. So Pharrell's still doing what he do, but I do agree. It was like Timberlake did rub me the wrong way when he was out here being Team Justin and was trying to bash Britney. And then when they dragged his ass on social media, then he tried to backpedal with the whole thing talking about she need to be quiet. First of all, Britney been muzzled throughout her damn career. Hold on. See, this is the thing that annoys me that when I'm dealing with important stuff and I have to send messages while I'm on a live trying to entertain y'all. Okay. Now back to us. Anyway, so let's move on, Chad. And let's talk about Katy Perry. Because they talking about, Timberland and all of them. Let's talk about her. So apparently, she was out here sharing busty photos to promote her new single Woman's World, which we haven't heard yet. I keep hearing conflicting stories in regards of um if that's the song that we heard, the snippet of the song is not the song. Some people keep saying it's AI. Some people saying it's the actual snippet of the song. They're assuming that the music video, based off the background and stuff, that she's probably playing some sort of superhero. Maybe that is what she's playing based off the photo that we saw of her with the look like those Voltron feet or whatever. There was looking those animatronic legs or chaps as we could call them, which is making her look very much Arca-esque. If you don't know who Arca is, look her up. She is a trans producer and artist who kind of do like these animatronic legs. But anyway, let me pull this picture up because she's out here showing the titties because, one of the things about Katy Perry is that the music is always about as deep as a pond, but because there's never any personality behind the songs. It'd just be some stuff for us to bop our heads to and sing along. But if you peel back the track and everything and you look at Katy Perry, she's nothing more than an empty vessel with big boobs that she just distracts us with. So, she's currently under fire for reportedly working with Dr. Luke on her new album. We listed a bunch of other people. She's supposed to be working with a couple of producers that work with Kim Petras and Charlie XCX, along with some other big major producers. She's got Dr. Luke, she's got Max Martin, and she's also got Stargate. And, these are like the creme de la creme of the producers that work with a lot of the A-list in Hollywood. So she's hoping and praying that working with these big A-list celebrities that she's going to get a hit. But the music's got to be popping. I don't care who you got. If the bops ain't bopping, it is what it is. You can't force people to like something if the bops ain't bopping. Now, in the photos which she posted to Instagram, the 39-year-old Roar singer wore a figure-hugging black leather halter-top jumpsuit with a zipper as a bodice and green and white lace stripes running down the sides. The American Idol judge left the zipper pulled up down low, revealing her prominent cleavage. In one photo, Katy, who just won a legal battle over her home of Montecito, held her amber-colored sunglasses, and in the other photos, she wore them, saying, "Start your engines." Why I want to say, "And may the best woman win." So then, "Start your engines. Women's World is coming. Press that pre-save for July 11th." After she kept in the post. Now, Katy also shared a short clip of herself backstage with Saweetie, in which she barged into her dressing room to surprise her. Later, the rapper commented on Katy's post, "The best. We are seated. I got the keys. Engines are ready to go." Other commenters immediately jumped on her for her collaboration with Dr. Luke, with one writing, "If Dr. Luke is driving that car, it's just going to backfire." Another quip, "Stop working with Dr. Puke." Now, Katy's collaboration with music professional Dr. Luke on her forthcoming album has garnered a considerable amount of controversy amid past sexual assault allegations made against the producer, by Kesha. Now, the 39-year-old songstress is collaborating with Dr. Luke, whose full name is Lucas Gottwald, as well as Max Martin, Sarah Hudson, and Stargate on her sixth record, Rolling Stone reported on Wednesday, saying Katy knew exactly, well, they said Perry actually. Perry knew exactly the album she wanted to make and put together this team to make it happen, a Capitol Records source told the outlet of the collection of talent the former AI judge put together for her first release since 2020, Smile. Now, Perry and Dr. Luke, who's 50, have past collaborated on hit singles such as 2008's I Kissed a Girl, 2010, not 2010, 2010's California Girls, and 2013's Roar. The feedback online was pointed towards both Perry and Dr. Luke, who last year settled a defamation lawsuit with Kesha after she claimed in the 2014 lawsuit that he had SA'd and physically abused her. So there's that. And then on another situation, I had came across this other post from Out Magazine where they were asking if people are ready for a new are they ready for this Katy Perry era? They basically said, should we be excited for her comeback? Now they went on to say, depending on who you ask, this alleged move could be good or bad. Now, for fans of Perry's 2010 sound, the reunion sounds like a good idea at first glance. But Dr. Luke has been embroiled in his own controversy over the last decade after TikTok singer Kesha accused him of abusing her sexually, physically, verbally, and emotionally. Kesha took Dr. Luke to court in 2013 in an effort to be released from her record label contract, and they felt like that and from what I was hearing, is that when she did take him to court for that the reasoning they were trying to say was that she had made up, allegedly, that he abused her to get out of her shitty contract. So some people were like, who do we believe? That's when the whole thing started with Free Kesha, that movement. And then Dr. Luke countersued for defamation. And then it was finally, their suit was finally settled last year, 2023. Now, they also tied up this whole thing of saying that Perry's involvement in the case is messy at best. Kesha and Perry both worked with Dr. Luke early in their careers and were friends in the late 2000s, even starring in each other's music videos. But after Kesha took Dr. Luke to court, his attorneys released texts between Kesha and Lady Gaga, where the two called Perry mean, and the former claimed Perry had also been AR'd by Dr. Luke. Perry was then subpoenaed in court and took the stand to deny the allegation. Her deposition has been sealed, and Kesha and Gaga later clarified that they heard the rumor from an industry executive. So they was going around saying that they heard that Katy Perry got SA'd by Dr. Luke without any evidence. Come to find out that they said it was based off hearsay. So if you're going around spreading rumors via text that of a rumor, then some people are like, well, how can we expect to believe that Kesha was actually assaulted by Dr. Luke? And I've heard people come in my comments, and I should bring this up. I've had someone slide in my DMs a while ago when I was talking about this whole Kesha was vindicated or that the case was settled, whatever. They threw in PB as in her mother, talking about that her mother crazy, that she was the one that was probably, conjure up this whole situation, and that Kesha made up the story about Dr. Luke. This is stories that I've heard over the years. So that's why when I first, and I didn't bring this up beforehand, but when I bring this up now, it's kind of like when I look at it as like, so are we ready for this comeback of Katy Perry? As somebody who's in media, like I said, I'm going to listen to the album, I'm going to listen to the single, and I'm going to determine, as part of media, give my opinion on it, whether it's good or not. I'm not saying like out of all the pop girls that's out here making music, especially in the 2010s, Kesha is not in my top 5 of artists that I was out here bumping. Yeah, she had a couple of bops and all this other stuff, but she, to me, like I've said, is just like a shell, vapid. There's nothing, I've never seen anything with her that gives me personality. So I was never checking for her in that way. But a bop is a bop, as I say, even if I don't like the artist. If you put out a good damn song, I'm gonna listen to it and give my opinion, because people should be neutral in that way. So they said the feedback online was pointing towards both Perry and Dr. Luke, who last year settled a defamation. Oh wait, that wasn't the one I wanted to read. This is the one I wanted to get. So they said though Gaga and Perry seemingly repaired their relationship following the drama, it's unclear if Kesha and Perry's relationship survived. Following the alleged news that Perry was reuniting with Luke in the studio, Kesha simply posted LOL on social media. Perry last worked with Dr. Luke on her 2013 album Prism. In 2017, she said it was because she had to leave the nest. And it was probably because of those allegations. That's why I'm thinking that's why she left. But now that sales have cooled and, all that other stuff, and here's the thing, Katy Perry is in desperate need of a hit. Prism didn't do all that well. The album before that didn't do all that well. So what was that? Witness. There wasn't a lot of big hits that come off those records. So she's going back to those roots. And she's in desperate need of a comeback. She's about to be 40. Where does she fit in? It's the same thing when we talk about Hennifer and we talk about Justin Timberlake. When you are a seasoned artist, when you've got a lot of mileage on your career, you have to continue to reinvent yourself. So where do you fit in his current this pop landscape? That's why I combined the two. Where does she fit in this space? Where does she fit in with the Olivia Rodrigos, with the Sabrina Carpenters, with the Charlie XCXs? Where does she fit in with that whole, brand of pop girls who are out here doing it? She doesn't want to end up in the same boat as a Normani. Here today, forgotten, and then forgotten afterwards. Even though she has had a long-standing career. She's been around for over a decade, because she's started her career popped off in the 2010s. So a good, she's in the same boat as like the Adam Lambert and One Direction, kids and all this stuff. 14, 15 years of being a pop star. So where does she fit in this current landscape? So I totally get why, she went back to Dr. Luke. But also, let's point out that he has worked with a bunch of other artists like Nicki Minaj, Kim Petras, continues to work with Kim Petras, Doja Cat, and Sweetie. But Doja Cat said she wasn't working with him no more. So we'll see how long that lasts. But as I said before, I'm just going to wait and hear what this new single sounds like. I'll give my opinion on it. But here's the thing. Dr. Luke, say what you want to say, and it's about, I guess the court of public opinion always tends to outweigh the law. But during the law, since we're going to talk about law, he hasn't been accused of anything. He has not pled guilty. Well, he's been accused. He hasn't pled guilty for any of the accusations that was thrown against him about Kesha. Nobody else has come out and said anything about Dr. Luke. Because here's the thing, where there's smoke is fire. And when we talk about people like R. Kelly, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, when those accusations came out about them, it wasn't just a one-off. It was multitudes of people that came out accusing them of abuse allegations. So we haven't heard many people come out and say that about Dr. Luke. This is only a he said, she said situation from Kesha. And yes, when abused people say that they've been abused, we are inclined to believe them. But until he's been hit with a guilty plea and had to do time and all this other stuff, then unfortunately, in the court of public opinion don't matter. Dr. Luke should be able to still work if he has not been accused or pled guilty from the accusations. That's just the way it should be. It should be innocent until proven guilty, not, oh, someone said this happened and that everybody's holding on to that because now y'all want to come out here and all of a sudden act like these social media warriors, these Me Too torch carrying protesters. He hasn't been accused, so he should be able to still work. So, man, unless people do know something and y'all just too scared to come out and say something, to that I say shame on you. But I say all this to say that's just my opinion, and that's the way I look at it. I always try to look at both sides of the situation. We got to play devil's advocate, and then we also should see the side of her. So I ask what you think of this story. Let me know in the comments down below. So, he said, Out Magazine asked if people were excited for her comeback. Most people said no. That's what I said. I referenced, it's funny enough, you talking about it, and I referenced that in, the story. So maybe I didn't read down. So they said, so are you excited for Perry's comeback? And then they wrote, we certainly will be tuning in. But that's Out Magazine. Out Magazine always tries to be neutral when it comes to stuff. They don't really go in and let have and say the things that need to be said. So, but it seemed like that it is divided, that a lot of people seem to be not that excited for her comeback. I did see a lot of the negatives of like them being mad over the whole Dr. Luke thing. But like I said, because I am in media, I will most certainly be listening to these songs. To the song and the album, and then I'll give y'all my review on what I think of it. The Neptune production on Hard Candy aged better than the Timberland stuff on it. That is true, because I will say that the one thing about Pharrell is that his music is, whether you like it or not, his music is timeless. And it doesn't, because it's like he relies on, it's like, what do you call it? Retro futuristic, I guess, is the word that I'm looking for. It's got that retro feel, but it also feels fresh and futuristic. So when you listen to The Beat Goes On, which was produced by Pharrell, that song does stand the test of time. When you listen to Timberland stuff with the mouth beatboxing and all this stuff, his music does sound dated. I was listening to some Genuine the other day. I'm like, yeah, you definitely feel like this song feels much like it came out back when it came out in the 90s and the 2000s. But when you listen to his work, when you listen to Pharrell's music on Hard Candy and the other stuff that he does, it does feel retro futuristic. When you listen to Sweet Honey Buckin' from the Renaissance Act 2 from Cowboy Carter, I'm like, yeah, it's got that country vibe, but it also feels futuristic. It's got that retro futuristic vibe. So that's what I like about Pharrell's music, is that it marries the two. It takes from the past, but also marries, gives it a more futuristic vibe. And that's why I think I like his production more so than Timberland is, Timberland shit is dated. He's a one-trick pony, and it is what it is. So, all right, let's move on and let's talk about Jacob Elordi, who, child, now this was something that I had totally forgot about, that there was this thing that you can basically go and take people's face and put it on their body, which I gag when they sort of, so Jacob is the latest victim to have to deal with that. Because they said they did it to Taylor Swift, and there was another celebrity that this happened to also, where they deep fake them and put them on social media. So Saltburn actor Jacob Elordi has become the latest celebrity victim of non-consensual deepfake pornography. Now, according to Entertainment Weekly, it says a post featuring an explicit video of a person masturbating, which had the Euphoria and Saltburn actor's face digitally superimposed upon the figure, circulated on Twitter beginning on Monday night. The post has since been removed by Twitter with a message saying this post violated our rules. Now, posts containing the video were viewed over 3 million times before the eventual removal. NBC News reported the outlet and numerous social media users noted that the person in the video could not have been Elordi due to the lack of distinctive birthmarks. So this is another thing how you could easily tell that if it's somebody, if you have a distinctive birthmark, because people be studying your body, or if there's a tattoo that the person has, but then when you look at the deep fake and that tattoo ain't there, then it's like, if you really pay attention, you can always tell the deep fakes. Additionally, one of the users, whose name is Mentally Illigus, who is a content creator on the explicit content platform OnlyFans, claimed that he is the person from the original video and that he was only 17 years old when he made it, which makes its circulation even more legally and morally dubious. But here's the thing. So how did that get on social media? How did that get on Twitter? And how are you promoting that on OnlyFans? This is another thing a lot of people got to worry about too. A lot of these young kids be out here underage taking videos of themselves, pleasuring themselves, and posting it on social media. And a lot of times y'all do look real young, which probably go the way of Austin Wolf, because he liked them young, allegedly. But you got to be careful out here in the street, because remember, once upon a time, Brent Corrigan went through that, where it was like he was doing adult films and come to find out he was underage. So we got to be careful in a lot of these situations, especially when y'all got to be out here checking these IDs, because I'm sure you have to upload your ID to these platforms. So the user said he was just trying to ignore it, despite a multitude of other users tagging him in responses to the deepfake video. That's literally my video, LMAO. Deepfake is getting creepy, he wrote. Reps for Elordi did not immediately respond to Entertainment Weekly's request for comment. So Elordi is far from the first celebrity to have their likeness non-consensually exploited for explicit content. Sexually explicit deepfake images of Taylor Swift also went viral on Twitter in January, accruing over 27 million views before their removal. Other actors have criticized the proliferation of deepfake content, including Hack's Gene Smart, who told EW, "I don't want to be in a year 3000 porn in 2022. And it's not only her, because I remember, or him. I remember also hearing that they did it to Jenna Ortega. that they wound up putting her face on somebody's body. Now, social media users were quick to call out the unethical content, noting that porn of celebrities is wrong, regardless of gender, and that they hope Jacob Elordi sues whoever made the deepfake video in the first place. Well, my thing is, how do you even find out who took? I guess you could look up the IP or whatever the case is, the IP address or whatever the case is, and find out who actually put the deep fake, who created it, and who put it up on social media, who went and took this boy's body and put his face on it, and then is running around trolling with the situation. Because it'd be funny if it's the actual kid whose body is on, he wound up doing that for some attention. Who knows? But I say all this to say, I like Jacob Elordi. I am a fan of his as an actor. He is, someone who, in my opinion, is like on that come up, even though he to me feels like he's trying to pull away from a lot of that attention. And I know he's like someone who doesn't like being sexualized a lot based off, the whole success of Saltburn and all the stuff that he was getting with that, especially regarding like, the bathwater scene and all that other stuff. So, but that movie was that movie, and you got the fame from how you got the fame from. A lot of times we can't control, I understand you're being an actor and you're just playing up that part and you're just diving deep into whatever it is that you're doing. But sometimes we can't control how, unfortunately, the people at home are receiving what it is that they're watching with Saltburn, especially the gays who was living for the craziness of that damn movie. So I do hope that we can get a resolution with this whole story. But yeah, that is crazy because now it's like in the future, what we're getting is people out here who are just creating these narratives of sticking people's faces on their bodies, on the bodies of porn stars, and using their likeness. So let me know what you guys think. Let's wait down below, because I could have sworn that there's other celebrities out here who are going through the same thing in regards of like their faces have been put on the bodies of other celebrities. I'm sure there is, but I just can't remember them off the top of my head, besides the ones that I had mentioned throughout the article. All right, so we have, after this, we have 2 more topics, I do believe. And then we are done with today's show. So let's get into some drag race news. So apparently Alaska has grievances. Oh, wait, hold on. So apparently, because I didn't even put the banner down there, or the lower third. So apparently Alaska, who, won All Stars, I think it was 3, has aired her grievances with what's it doing with Drag Race All Stars 9. Now I know they released a new episode today. I haven't gotten around to watching it yet, so I will get around to that probably when I'm done with today's show, because I don't get to really watch it at the top of the morning. That's why also what irritates me about the whole Drag Race All Stars thing, I get that it's on Paramount Plus, it's on a streaming service, but the way that it's like already, these YouTube channels have their citations up already with spoilers in a damn headline, or a lot of the blogs will sit and already have their stuff up. And it's like, well, damn, not all of us wake up or waiting until 3 a.m. for the episode to drop. So that way we can have our stuff before the algorithms. So we be the first. So that irritates me. So I always try to avoid the spoilers as much as I possibly can until I get around to watch the episode. So RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, okay, it was All Stars 2, it wasn't All Stars 3. All Stars 3 was Katya, I believe. No, Trixie Mattel. Anyway, RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 2 champion Alaska has spoken about the issue with All Stars 9's non-elimination format and why the contestants are not pleased. All Stars 9 is the first season in Drag Race history to have a cast compete for charity rather than a cash prize for themselves, and the second to not feature eliminations. Although the season has provided some mild drama, a lack of stakes has left some people disappointed. And it's funny because I do agree with this. Before I get to the story, I was talking to a friend of mine. They were just talking about that a lot of people aren't liking this season. I'm like, why? He said, because it's boring. And in a way, I'm like, you know what? I have to agree. And then it's like they're even trying to conjure up drama for the sake of drama. And apparently the drama isn't giving. So in the latest episode, the 8 queens took part in the National Drag Convention Rose, featuring a guest appearance of Bob the Drag Queen and Angeria Paris Van Michaels and Plastique Tiara, taking the top 2 spots of the week. Speaking on Recap Pod's Race Chaser, with season 4 firebrand Willem. Alaska pointed out some sour moods from the contestants not in the top that week may have exposed one of the season's flaws. The girls are tired of the shooting schedule and a little annoyed at having to be there, Alaska claimed while discussing the episode's companion show, Untucked, saying Gottmik is not pleased, pissed, not happy, annoyed for not getting praised by the judges, I think. Alaska went on to say that Vanjie and Gottmik were particularly quiet that episode, explaining, I think that this speaks to one of the issues that maybe was unforeseen as a season where no one goes home. She added, the girls who are kind of in the middle, who are doing bad, but just aren't the featured players this week. They know it, and so they're like bored. They're like, well, fuck it. What am I going to do? I'm not going to give it if it's not my episode. I'm done for the day. I'm not in the top. There is no bottom. The episode ended with Angeria beating Plastique in the lip sync and cutting off Roxy Andrews from receiving a beautiful benefactress badge next week for the second time. Now, it should also be pointed out that every queen in the cast has at least one badge except Chanel. But I'm actually going to agree with that. It's like, okay, if there's no stakes in the episodes, if there's no bottom, if nobody's going up for elimination, if there's no whole the whole elimination where one of the winning queens who wins a lipstick against a lipstick assassin or whatever has to pull lipstick, there's no stake. So if I'm not in the top, if I'm not going to go home, there really is no stakes. And what the producers are going to have to figure out moving forward is that if you're not going to be eliminating queens because queens are giving y'all this ultimatum of, oh, well, if y'all going to have us get eliminated and stuff, then we're not going to participate in your all-stars. If they're going to act like that, the producers need to figure out a way to keep all the queens of the show engaged instead of this whole benefactors badge thing or the scissor or whatever the case is. They've got to find a way to keep things entertaining. I have to admit that it's been a long time. Like, there's times where I'll watch, I can't tell you the last time I've watched a full season of Untucked. I watch maybe a few episodes, and then after a while I check out because I'm like, Untucked's gotten boring. I miss the old days of when Untucked was on Logo, where the girls would really get up in there and they would really be bringing the drama. It's like it's not like that no more. I feel like a lot of the queens are just, self-producing. A lot of them worry too much about what the fans at home, the trolls that be online, bullying them and you leaving racist comments over because you want to come for their fave. A lot of times they want to produce because they don't want to come off a certain way. At some point, when you're doing these type of shows, you can't give a fuck what these people at home are thinking. They're not in the cooker with y'all. They're not in that room shooting those long ass hours doing this show. At some point, y'all got to stop trying to produce yourselves and give a damn show and not give a fuck what the other people think. You have an opportunity to go on the Roscoe show or whatever other show that does drag shows and give your side of the story. But when I'm on that show, I'm going to do what I need to do to entertain and keep the show going without having to self-produce or worry in the back of my head, oh, I'm going to get picked on by the people at home. First of all, I'll cuss every damn body out. So it's like you got to have a thick damn skin if you're going to get if you're going to occupy a space like Drag Race. I know it's easier said than done, but it's like you have to know, like, this is what comes with the territory. Your life is about to change. You're going to go on this show and you're going to do whatever. Sidebar, one of the things that irritated me was, they dragged Plain Jane all over social media because apparently she went on social media was talking about how she thinks Chapel Roan, her drag is performative, that she's not really, that she's using it as a way of being I'm like, isn't all art performative? Like, she's getting up there performing, therefore it is performative. Like, what are you talking about? So I know, like, she gets off on trying to be like this controversial figure or whatever the case is, but for the most part, it's like there are females that do drag. That's what they say. That's what we going with. So it's drag is not only men dressing up in women's clothes for the art or whatever. Women do drag. Non-binary people do drag. Trans women do drag. We have drag kings. We have all aspects of drag through people. So I say all this to say, it's like, I totally agree with Alaska on this. It's like, you know what? If you're not in the top, these girls are not really showing as much enthusiasm as they need to. Because it's like, we're not going home. You're not eliminating us. So I don't really have to work 10 times as hard. So moving forward, because I'm sure, like, what I'm thinking is, All Stars 10 is going to start filming around DragCon. When is DragCon? Is that like coming up? It should be coming up in the next couple of weeks, maybe next week or the following week. I know it's coming up. I think it's coming up during Pride. It's either June or July. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I really feel like after All Stars is when they're going to start filming All Stars 10. Moving forward, I hope that the producers are listening and paying attention and don't be hating on these, people who have been in the cooker, like Alaska and all these other people. Listen to the critiques and don't get upset about it. Take it in, listen, and be like, you know what? Maybe they have a point, and find a way to get the show interesting again. Because I do agree, as much as I like seeing a lot of these, iconic queens back on my TV, I have kind of been bored with this season of All Stars. So moving forward, y'all better figure out how to keep this show, going. I mean, I am looking forward to Global All Stars. We'll see what that is when it happens. But until then, let me know what you guys think of this story down below. So we have comments, and says Gottmik was really upset about not being in the top. Yeah, I did hear. Yeah, I remember hearing that. And it said, you saw that video I sent you where the guy said, if you don't watch Untucked, you're not missing much. That should be the new tagline for the show. You know what they say, if you're not watching Untucked, you're only missing half the story. Whatever the case is, there should be the new tagline. You're not missing much. Yeah, you did send that to me yesterday. Okay, so it is July. So it's July 19th and 20th. And I feel like right after they're gonna film All Stars, which makes total sense. I don't think that you need to film All Stars right after as soon as you wrap RuPaul's Drag Race season 17, which they just finished wrapping. I believe I heard that they had just wrapped that season. So just give it a little time in between. Let them prep and do whatever they need to do. Recruit the whatever girls. I'm sure they recruited the girls that they wanted to recruit a while ago. And we'll find out who makes it when they start filming. It said, is there a celebration tour book coming? Madonna brought up Dita Parlo back in Dita Parlo. Wait, my name is Dita. I'll be your mistress tonight. That's what we talking about. Back gold tooth and all is late, but considering after what happened a year ago, first of all, there should have been a tour book. Why wasn't there a tour book released during the tour? People was willing to buy it. They could film it in the winter, but the thing with Drag Race is that that's when they do their promos is during the winter, because January is usually when they drop it. And when they come to New York and they do the whole promo thing with Drag Race, because that's when I went and did the red carpet for season 14 was in the winter time. And it was cute when they did it around that time. So yeah, that's usually when they do their promo stuff, but they always prefer to film it, 6 months. Yeah, 6 months in advance. Because in the summertime they film it, and then by January, it's done. It said ready and definitely going to do a bunch of bonus goodies saying sorry for my normal tour stuff is behind or didn't happen. But anybody that got a ticket gets a book for free. Per tickets. Well, shit, they better send me, if that happens, they better give me a free book. It said, as a thank you for waiting for the show instead of asking for a refund. Because look, I went, and so I need that tour book. And that should be a thing where it's like, you know what, they give it to all of us for free. But anyway, they said they could have used pictures throughout her career for the tour book. It would have been, yeah, exactly. It's like they could have used pictures throughout her career. On top of that, just add like extra photos and stuff for that. Also, I forgot to mention, shout out to Evie Oddly, because I don't know if y'all saw it on her Twitter, and I'm not posting it on here because I'm not getting demonetized or kicked off YouTube. But Evie Oddly to promote their new book that's out, I think, and I want to get it. Miss Mama posted a dick pic on Twitter. Child, I mean, we've all seen it before, but she posted it up there, and I was like, okay, sis, this is the way. And now it's started like this new trend of like this little micro photo of like, if you zoom in, you get to see people's penises and stuff. It started this new trend that I'm starting to see on social media. But anyway, let's get to our final topic, and let's talk about Drag Race winner Envy Peru is revealing why she turned down Canada versus the world. So so it says, shout out to Pink News for the story. So it says, Drag Race Halloween winner Envy Peru turned down an offer to appear on the Canadian spinoff show. The Drag Race franchise has produced, as you know, various spin-offs for a number of years. All Stars 1 came out in 2012, bringing back some of the fiercest queens for another shot at the crown. As the years went on, different versions of the format were introduced, notably in 2022 with an all-winners show. By that point, the franchise had gone international, and the first versus the world installment had hit our screens. The series pitted contestants from different global franchises against one another, with Canada versus the World first airing in 2022. Although Isis Couture, who won season 2 of Canada's Drag Race, was one of the queens battling for glory once again, Envy has now revealed she turned down the chance to reappear. So, Envy went and recently appeared on an episode of Give It To Me Straight, which is the podcast hosted by Maddie Morphosis. And, she was the first winner of Drag Race Holland 4 years ago. She went on Maddie's show and revealed why she turned it down. And so we have the clip. We're going to play it. And then we'll come back and talk as a class. Please hold.
But as I mentioned, like, you grew up such a huge following, like, online, grew up very big in, like, the Holland drag scene, eventually getting cast for Drag Race Holland, which you won. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then going on from that, is it true that you turned down a chance to be on Canada versus the World?
Yes.
What was your reasoning for that?
Well, World of Wonder called me, and they said, well, we have an offer for you. We already said no to them, but we just wanted to check with you if you would be interested. And I was for Canada versus the World. And I said, well, if I'm going to go back on Drag Race or whatever season, I want to do it in front of RuPaul. And there's nothing against Brooklyn Heights, because I love Brooklyn Heights, but I never been in front of RuPaul. I want to present my drag in front of Mother Ru. Yeah. So that's
well, as you said, it's just Brooklyn. As you said.
Well, that's just how your words.
It's just Brooklyn. Well, I'm just saying I'm just, translating for the audience what you're trying to say, because you're trying to be all nice. It's just Brooklyn.
Well, now I understand why they wanted to be on that season, because Isis Couture was on that season as well. So they wanted to have like all two winners against each other. Yeah. I was like, no. This was not the right moment for me to go back as well.
So are you waiting for like an all winners or like an all stars type situation?
Yeah. When the time is right, then I would be very interested to go back. But I need to feel like secure about it. It's like I will feel it like when the moment is the right moment. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll leave it there. And so basically she said what she said. I agree. It's the fact that, there's been a couple of queens who, have never had the opportunity, and did have the opportunity when, they were brought over, and they did like, when RuPaul, brought some of the international queens over. I'm trying to remember, what was the season where it was like, okay, so there were queens that never had the opportunity to show their drag in front of RuPaul and had the opportunity to do it. I think it was one of the versus the worlds. But yeah, I agree with that. It's like, if it's Canada versus the world, first of all, no shade, but I always told y'all many a times on this show, Canada has never been like my top favorite, has been my favorite franchise. I don't particularly care for the judges. I don't think they're that interesting. A lot of the drag from the Canadian queens be a little basic, but a little sloppy and messy. I just don't like the type of Canadian drag. And then plus, a lot of y'all be just a little too chipper and happy for me. So it's like, I be thinking like a lot of y'all personalities is OD fake. There's no shade. It's just my assessment of the situation. So, and then on top of that last season chat, was it Isis? Wait, no, I don't think it was Isis Couture that one. I think Isis Couture, did she quit? During the versus the world, whatever, something or another. I didn't particularly care for the last season of Canada. I just thought the person they picked, I'm like, girl, what is your drag? First of all, you don't even tuck your penis. You're not wearing boobs. Your makeup basically is looking like it's giving boy in an outfit. Like, it wasn't even full on geesh. Like, you was giving mess. It was giving mess. And that's who they picked to win. There was a lot of y'all on there. I'm like, I know this is not the drag y'all trying to serve up. Especially somebody like myself who came up in the time of watching a lot of New York City drag, which is, if you went to Manhattan, it was all about the glam girls, like the showgirls and like gowns and beads and things of that nature. And then you would see the other girls that were like the pop queens, who would be up there performing to Britney and Christina and Jennifer Lopez and Beyonce. Like that was the drag that I was giving. And then you go to Brooklyn where you get more of that alternative drag. Where you see a lot of the girls, the bearded queens, and you can see all aspects of drag. And then you go and look at Canada. I'm like, child, I'm scared to go up in y'all clubs and see how y'all be doing, because y'all, if this is the drag y'all giving, this should not be on television. But that's what they put. They wanted to create a franchise, and that's what they went with. So I would agree, like, okay, so now, RuPaul is the icon of all icons. RuPaul is somebody, like, as a kid that I grew up, when I first saw this black queen statuesque on television with this blonde hair giving glam, even though she did come from the era of genderfuck drag. She at one point did the glamour thing, and then that's when she ushered herself into the mainstream, and then all that stuff. That was something to aspire and look up to. So when you look at this person who's become one of the most famous drag queens on the planet, I definitely agree with Envy. It's like, you know what? Now I get that real validation by actually walking into a room and showing RuPaul my drag and getting that validation from her. So I totally get it. Not from some girl that was a contestant on a show called RuPaul's Drag Race. I think it was season 9. Or was it 10? It was one of the seasons. And then you ended up hosting your own flagship show over in Canada. So it's like, yeah, there's more validation with my drag with them versus, with RuPaul versus 3 damn judges who are also the host. So I say all that to say, what do you think of this story? Like, I am definitely team Envy on this. It's like, it's cute or whatever that I can go to these other people on these other shows and get judged in front of them. But to me, there seems to be real validation. The true validation comes from someone who is an icon like RuPaul, because RuPaul created this thing called Drag Race. The American, we had it first, and then now it's spawned into this international thing. So being able to stand in front of RuPaul and showcase my drag and get validated for it, to me, is the greatest compliment of all. So let me know what you guys think of this story down below. Okay, so we have comments. Hello, Onyx. How are you? It says, I showed up at the very end. But I'm going to look. Well, you can always rewind and watch it back from the beginning, because it was a lot. It said, but I'm glad Envy, Taste, Naomi, Trinity K, Honey, and Valentina all declined. You talking about Honey Davenport chat? Oh, first of all, sidebar. Honey Davenport has a new song coming out. A friend of mine was telling me, who's working on it, came out yesterday. Hit me up. I think it was yesterday or the day before. We was talking on the phone. And he's worked on a song with Honey Davenport, went out to Palm Springs where she lives, and they worked on a little visual idea. So be on the lookout for that. I forgot the name of the song, forgive me, because we were talking about a whole lot of stuff. So as soon as the song comes out, because I wanted to hear it, but he didn't send it to me. But yeah, she got a new song coming out. I guess for the people like throwing money on the scribbles and things of that nature. So yeah, we have that. So look out for that. It says also Valentina, yeah, they inclined an invitation. That cast felt perfect and made to be. I hope Isis is doing better though. Yep. It was that Isis did quit. The pressure got to her, and I don't even know why she agreed to go to film during her reigning year. Yeah, because you know what? You don't realize that pressure is on. Maybe I guess at the time she was, she had those anxiety issues, depression, was feeling all the pressure and all that other stuff, but just ignored it. And a lot of times people do that. It's like, when you try to be everything to everybody, you are feeling the pressure and all that other stuff, but you're not really giving into it. So it's just like festering until you get in that room with the cameras and everything. Then all of a sudden that anxiety just like becomes so uncontrollable that it's like it just hits you like a lead balloon. And it's like, oh my God, like I should have listened to my gut from the beginning. I thought I could handle it, but then not realizing that you couldn't. So I guess the smart thing to do would be go back to the best thing, I guess, for her to do was quit. And I hate when people say, well, you did all that. There's so many people that would like to be in your shoes. And you went, okay, well then go call them then. We should be allowed to give people the grace to deal with whatever it is that they're dealing with. Especially not everybody can handle the pressures of fame and all that stuff. But yeah, shout out to the Brooklyn drag. And then I saw that Candy Muse said in her episode that Lana Del Rey gave her this name Cherry Blossom. which she said she used it for a bit, then changed it. I mean, Cherry Blossom's a cute song. I mean, a cute song, a cute name. But yeah, Candy Muse is a much better name. She spent 60K to 100K for her runway package. Child, and that's another thing you got to worry about too. It's like, you know what? You spend all. That's another thing I guess you got to worry about too. It's like you can come out and deal with whatever you're dealing with, but then the amount of money that these girls are out here spending on, you know, these packages for being on a TV show is crazy. I wish it was a thing where it's like these girls could just show up to a show and then they actually have seamstresses working behind the scenes to come up with creating the looks for a lot of these girls. It's like you give them an idea, this is what I want, and this is how I want to present myself in the runway. They take your measurements, and you have the seamstresses work behind the scenes, and then you just get up there and you just present your drag. Instead of you having to spend so much money just to go on a TV show. I mean, some people think like, you know what, with them spending this kind of money, they'll, get to. I mean, it's an opportunity for you to showcase yourself, and you'll be able to make all that money back when you go to. I hope not. I read that comment. It was like, well, I heard Plastic spent $250K for her looks. I did hear that too. They said she spent a shit ton of money. I hope she not married a Birdman, his slow ass. Because, I don't know if y'all heard that story about him going to the prison and they were asking him to donate books. And he was like, well, I'm paraphrasing. Like, y'all don't need no books up in here. I'm like, why not? A lot of people who are in jail, they don't have nothing to do. So they read a lot. So I definitely get. But Birdman's an idiot. First of all, he talks slow. He talk like he's slow. Like he way beyond the spectrum. So, of course, I would be surprised if his ass illiterate. So why would he want to educate people in jail? There's who two dudes. Anyway, we have come to the end of the show. Any comments, concerns, or questions, leave them in the comments real quick. Otherwise, I'm about to sign off with yet another 3-hour show. But anyway, love you all for watching. Tune in next time for a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please do me a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Yeah, so, it's Friday. I don't know what I'll be doing this weekend. Probably dipping in doing it. I'll probably come back with a new show on Monday. Where do grown men find the time to play dress up? I mean, if that's a career that you have, which is drag, you always find the time to play dress up and perform and all that other stuff, especially if that's like you expressing yourself artistically. But anyway, so yeah, thank you all for watching. Definitely hit that like button, that subscribe button, the notification button. Leave a comment on the topics at hand. I definitely read the comments and respond and hit my likes and all the other stuff because I appreciate everybody that comes and takes the time to actually sit with me to kiki during the show and comment during the show. So love you all for watching. As I said, please hit the like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button. And yeah, until next time, enjoy your weekend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy this weather because, child, it is going to be, I don't know how long it's going to be, 97 degrees. It is hotter than 3 shades of hell outside. So enjoy the weather if you're going to be out at the beach or whatever the case is. And also, if not, honey, stay up under the fan, stay under that good old central air, which I have, and stay cool and watch a couple of movies. Look, Jessica Alba got a new movie out on Netflix. That's on and popping. I'm sure there's a bunch of movies that everybody can sit at home and luxuriate and watch. Drag Race is out. If y'all haven't watched it yet, definitely check that out. So there's a lot going on. Also, definitely check out, oh my gosh, what's that other show that I was talking about? House on Fire, that's on Wow Presents Plus. Watch that show about the ballroom show about the house of Miyake Mugler. That's a good one. I watched the first 3 episodes. Definitely check that show out. Also, I started watching Boy Culture yesterday, Generation X. I didn't even know that show was like, I thought it was a movie. It's a TV series, and the episodes is like 15 minutes. They're really short, but effective. So Daryl Stevens is in it. Derek Magyar, who was was in the original movie. It's a good show. The episode that had me cackling, they had Doug Spearman on there, who played Chance on Noah's Ark. So he hires X. That's why they call it Generation X. I don't think I told you that part, but it's called Boy Culture Generation X. So he hires X. He brings X. So X brings his character to the house, and child, I gagged because this was the episode where he wanted to get pounded, but then when he's about to climb or get off, he wanted X to call him the N word. So they saying it and bleeping it, and then all of a sudden, what was awkward was that because he and what's the name character, Daryl Stevens' character, they broke up, but they living in the same house because the rent is good. So them moving out is going, it won't help with the finances or all this stuff. So staying in the house together makes it financially easy for them. So then, of course, Daryl Stevens come in the house with his boyfriend who's black that he met. He went on a date, bringing him home because he thought X was out being, working with his client or whatever. And they hearing the like Papa, and I'm sitting there just like gagging over this episode. So I'm like, it's a good show. So if y'all have Deku, definitely check that show out. I thought it was on also Here TV, but apparently it's on Deku. But yeah, so I cackled when I was watching that show. It's actually pretty good, and it's short, so it's like it doesn't require a lot of your time, where it's one of these long form 30-minute or 1 hour shows. So it's a good show. So if you have a chance, check it out. I saw JoJo Quads was in an episode with all that ass. Shout out to him. If you know him, he was on Go for the Goal. He's like one of the popping dancers or whatever that's in LA. He's in it. A couple of other people. But anyway, I just want to say that real quick because I almost forgot. So there's a lot of stuff that y'all want, especially for Pride Month. And also go out and celebrate Pride, child. Like it's popping in New York or wherever you at. I'm sure there's a lot of Pride events going on. There's a lot of parties that, celebrate your pride. Live your truth. Be an old sissy, whether you LGB or the T. So anyway, let me get off of here. So anyway, once again, love you all for watching. Please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and notification button. Please, 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 please. I love you all. And until next time,